Croeso i Caernarfon a chroeso i sgorio. Yma wyfynau i fod. Dyna mae lle mae'r rhain i fod heno. Ta beth, Caernarfon yn cwrdd â Conna. Gêm fyw arall i chi o uwch gyngrau'r Cymru JD. Y chwaraewyr yn cyrraedd y Cai a'r Canary yn cyrraedd y Cai. A ni wedi cyrraedd mis Medi hefyd. Bydd Caernarfon ddim eisiau fforwelio mis Awst ar ôl y dechrau maen nhw wedi cael i'r tymor am olygfa uwch y dre yma. A'r Cai gwyrdd yn y canol yw'n lleoliad ni wrth i'r haul fachlyd ar y dref hyfryd hon. Croeso mawr ato ni, croeso mawr i Malcolm Allen hefyd, cyn ymwysodwr Cymru yn cadw cwmni i fi. Malcolm, mae'n noswener, nosweithiau dan y llif o leiadau. Friday nights under the lights, maen nhw'n hoffi hyn yng Nghanarfon. Maen nhw'n hoffi y tymor i dyn hyn hefyd, gai o grymu.
Go iawn, mae yna rhyw deimlad gwahanol bod tro drwy'r noswener ar yr ofal fan hyn, anwedig rwan hefyd. Mae'r disgwyliad ella tymor hyn di symud i gobeithio'n, pob siarad am y tîm, ffordd maen nhw wedi dechrau, heb golli, 4 gêm. Felly mae hynna wedi creu efo'r chwaraewyr newydd sydd wedi setlo'n sydyn yma, wedi creu rhyw ysbryd gwahanol o gwmpas y lle, awyrgylch gwahanol a'r hyder yn tyfu ac yn tyfu. Felly, ond challenge anodd ofnadwy heno. Gan i fwy, dwi'n meddwl, o wybod mewn 6 gêm trwy mis Medi. Gynnu 6 gêm trwy mis Medi. Gewch chi ddechrau breuddwydio ar ôl hynna, ond dechrau gwych iddyn nhw.
Ie, dim wedi colli eto. Ail yn y tabl fel mae pethau yn sefyll ar hyn o bryd. Mae'n ben wythnos prysur. Mae wedi bod yn wythnos prysur. Gemau canol wythnos hefyd. Dyma sy'n digwydd heno. Met Caerdydd sydd ddim di ildio yn y dre newydd. A Bristol sydd ddim di sgorio yn y seintiau newydd. Yw hynny'n mynd i newid heno? Dwi'n yn siŵr am hynny chwaith. A fori 3 gêm arall. Ac wrth i ni edrych ar y tabl, Malcolm, mae wedi dipyn y sefyllfa tymor yma. Achos mae chi 5 tîm yn gyfartal o ran pwyntiau ar y hyn o bryd. 5 tîm ddim di colli, 5 tîm ddim di ennill. Beth sy'n digwydd da?
Ti di gweld hynna blaen? Ys bod ni'n bod yn gweithio ar uwch gyngor Cymru, dydw i heb weld hynna blaen. A mynd yn adrodd y cyffro o dan y seintiau newydd. Da ni wedi gweld y canlyniadau eraill. Maen nhw gyd o un gol. Sa neb wedi cael Quay na ddofel arall. Felly mae pob wedi curo pob, a dyna sy'n gwneud y cyffro. Ti'n bod mwy, dwi'n meddwl, edrych ymlaen i ar teimlad ti'n gael. Fatha heno, dwi'n gwybod beth ddisgwyl, ond dwi'n disgwyl mae'r gêm yn gadw gymaint. Sa'n llawer o gariad rhwng y ddau dim, mae'n daclws ffyrnig, dwi'n disgwyl hynny. Dydy Caernarfon ddim di curo CONNAH'S un o'r 10 gêm 4 mlynedd yn ôl. Felly, mae'n mynd i fod yn anodd, ond am gêm.
Ie, dewch i ni glywed gan reolwr y Cofis nesaf. Mae Bryn Thomas, dwi'n bod yn holi Richard Davies.
4 gêm i fewn i'r tymor dal heb golli. Da chi'n profi ambell i berson yn anghywir yn dydach?
Yndan, ond mae'n ei ond da ni'n anghofio amdan trio profi bobl o'r onglan. Fel dwi wedi dweud o blaen, da ni'n gwybod beth gen i'n stafell newid na. Mae'n dim bach o bwyff yna. Dyna dyn trio ddeith yr hogia. Mae gen ni balance da wan dwi'n teimlo o experience a hogia ifanc. Does am byd yn ffeisio hogia ifanc ma wedyn. Mae'r hogia efo profiad wedyn yn dylanwad da yn nhw mewn ffordd lle. So, na, dyna dechreuad iawn. Sa'n ni'n gallu bod yn well rhan pwyntiau wrach, ond na, da ni'n gorfod bod yn hapus efo'r dechreuad.
Be ydych chi'n disgwyl heno?
Gêm anodd. Dwi'n meddwl probably na hon fydd y toughest test i fyny at wan. Dwi wedi gwachod i games no felly a wedyn mae sharp nhw, da ni'n mynd i chwarae nebyn y sharp yma, so da ni wedi trio dod fyny efo solutions i yna lle allan ni frifo nhw. So fe gennym ni game plan yn mynd i fewn iddo. Ond ia, mae gennym nhw lot o attributes da, mae gennym nhw technical players, mae gennym nhw lot o egni yn y tîm, so na, mae'n tough test yno. A
mae gennych chi egin yn y tîm, a da chi'n cadw'r un tîm a chwaraeodd yn ebyn y balan os fawth?
Ynddo, nathon ni disgysio fath o management tîm a mewn ffresno bethau fyny, ond dwi'n teimlo bod gen i bach o momentum ar y funud. A sa'n anodd tynnu rhywun allan, just ar gyfer fresh legs, so well gan i wneud newidiadau pam sydd angen lle a cadw'r momentum i fynd.
Diolch o galon, pob lwc.
Diolch man.
Ie, diddorol bod e'n sôn fan yna, mae fe'n gweld hon fel yr her fwyaf, fel chi wedi sôn Malcolm. Mae'n wedi chwarae bala hefyd, felly oedd hwnna'n dipyn o her iddyn nhw ganol wythnos. Mae'n bod yn brysur yn arwyddo chwaraewyr, cwpl o fois di gadael hefyd. Beth am yr chwaraewyr ymwysodol o'n nhw wedi arwyddo? Mae Lloyd wedi dod mewn, Adam Davies, Zack Clarke hefyd.
Do, ta, da ni wedi gweld nhw'n ebyn Conna fan hyn, do, ac gymaint o symudiadau, Bradley wneud y wych fan hyn. A just cadw i ben fan hyn, i byd bach. o ryw ffliwc yn diwedd ella, gadw fi gafel ni'n iawn, ond mae'n mynd I mewn, mae'n rhaid I llygad un ffordd, Davies sgorio 2, ond mae'n cychwyn y gêm heno. Felly ti'n edrych ar y chwaraewyr ifanc yma, o Lloyd I fyny llinell ffaen, cael ei ryddhau o Wrexham, a ti'n edrych ar dyn yma, Zack Clarke. Mae hwn ar ben I gêm, 20 oed a 19 oed, sy'n arwain y llinell ffaen na, felly dim llawer o brofiad yna, ond edrych ar calon yn ganol y cae, Gossett, Marc Williams a Darren Thomas, y trin nhw, ond edrych ar jyst dilyn I mewn, a mae'n dyna eich wneud weithio ar hyn gema. Nath Richard Rheolwr dweud yna, Richard Davies, nath o ddeud un peth, dau beth, nath o ddeud am momentum, peth anoddau I ffeindio ar ddechrau tymor, momentum, cysondeb, cadw tîm nath o'n un os o blaen. Dyna peth arall isio gael I dy dîm. Unwaith wedyn mae hynna'n dod, a mae'r canlyniadau dod, mae'r perfformiadau'n dod wedyn.
Ydyn nhw'n glwb sy'n bwydo ar hynny hefyd? Unwaith mae'r diddordeb mae'n dorf yn dod, mae'n adeiladu pawb o gwmpas y lle?
Cyn tymor, o pawb sy'n am, mae'n mynd lawr. Maen nhw'n bendant mynd lawr, am fod nhw mor agos, 4 pwynt yn glir tymor dwytha, mynd reit yn bell o'r gêm dwytha. Ond, ti'n edrych ar dechrau'r tymor, a'r newidiadau sydd wedi bod, mae'n anodd I unrhyw reolwr newydd ydi fewn I ddeud 9 chwaraewr newydd o'r tîm nath cael gêm gyfartal o 2 gol yr un, llai na blwyddyn yn ôl. Y chwarae Canarvon heno. Ond mae yna balans yna, mae yna stael yna, am rhyw bendant mewn rhyw rhythm ar y funud.
Diddorol. Ni'n trafod Canarvon, ddim wedi sôn llawer am Gay Connor, dewch I ni glywed gan i'r reolwr nhw, Neil Gibson.
Neil, tough test ahead.
Really tough test. Spoke to Fish quite a lot in the summer in terms of what they're trying to do here at Caernarvon. Great start for them. Fantastic to see the way that they're trying to execute, the way that they're trying to play, and it seems like the good times are back at Caernarvon, you know, with local mileage, you know, an exuberance around the football club. So it's one that we've got to be guarded for because they started the season really, really well, and it'll be as tough a test as we've had so far.
Your home form is very good. Your away form isn't. What's the problem?
Yeah, I think, look, it was a problem for us last season for certain aspects of the season. We were better at home than we were away. It's something we're very mindful of. However, we've had a couple of tricky away games so far this season, away against CONNAH'S first game and then away against Bala, which was a game where, you know, look, we felt we deserved more than what we got out of that game. You know, circumstances within the game dictated that we didn't get the result. However, we feel we're in good form. You know, take the CONNAH'S game out of it. The last 3 fixtures, we've played well. We've had 2 positive results and 1 negative result. But we want to get away from that and find a level of consistency where we get ourselves on a run and start winning games back to back.
And that consistency means an unchanged side tonight.
Yeah, we felt, you know, look, I've, you know, kind of got an adage where over the years has served me quite well. You know, players know that it's a competitive group. If they play well and we win, you know, you keep your shirt. So I think that they've earned the right on Tuesday. As long as we came through training all right on Wednesday night, which we did, we covered well. The players have, you know, deserved the opportunity to go again. And ultimately, you know, it'd be nice to finish the week in style with another victory because the players have put that work in over the week in between 3 fixtures in 7 days.
Diolch yn iawn, pob lwc.
Croeso.
Diolch fawr iawn I Neil Gibson. Diddorol newidiadau o'n chwaraewyr, mae'n wedi symud cartre, yn chwarae yn y Flint hefyd ar gau gwahanol y cai 3G. Mae'n difrgol rhai'r chwaraewyr, mae wedi roedd o hen ffefrynnau Cai Edwards, Noah Edwards yn brodyr dau gilydd. Fydd am Jordan Davies mewn hefyd. Mae'n ddiddorol, mae fe wedi cael cwpl o goliau yn barod yno.
Wel, do, 3 gol dyn nhw, ar y munud, a mae wedi cael Cymru di jans. Oedd wedi cael ei siawns llawar yn Cey Connor. Ian Hwylffordd oed sgwr y goliau. Ond dwi'n licio sut mae o'n just rhyw dod I fewn i'r cwrs cosbi na'n hwyr. Ac amser I rediad. Ac yn ymroi I rediadau tymor yma. Mwyn am ydi wneud o blaen. Mae chwaraewr da yndi. Ac unwaith gael un gol, fel ymysodwr, mae'r gol mynd y fwy. A dyna mae o'n teimlo ar y funud, mae'n teimlo wedi sgorio bob gêm. Felly mae'n mor bwysig oherwydd mae'n chwarae'r rôl rhif 10 heno. Fo Gossett mor bwysig ar amddiffynwyr I Canarvon I wneud siŵr bod cael dy fôl ddistaw.
Y brwydre personol na chi'n sôn am rhaid i'n amal.
Sgwrdd chi 8-9 hynna'n curo, de?
Mae'r sefyl a hynny. Mae Malcolm yn mynd I fyny fyny pwynt sylwebu, bydd e'n sylwebu yn Gymraeg gyda May Emrys yn sylwebu'n Saesneg eno. Dwi'n falch gweud. Cyn chwaraewr canol Cai Wrexham, Wayne Phillips gyda ni. A Bryn Thomas wrth I ochr e. Noswaith dda gyfeillion.
Noswaith dda, dylan ni a diolch yn fawr yn cyn reolwr Canarvon, Wayne Phillips hefyd, wrth gwrs, Wayne, croeso adra. Be allwn ni ddisgwyl yn y gêm heno?
Wel, wastad yn neis dod yn ôl i Canarvon Bryn rhywle dwi'n dal I galw na gartre ac edrych ymlaen am y gêm sydd am fod yn cystadleuol rhwng y ddau dîm. Canarvon sydd wedi cael dechrau gwych i'r tymor, di ennill yn bai Colwyn fel o'n ni wedi rhagweld, di dilyn hynny fyny efo buddigoliaeth da yn ebyn y dre newydd, a maen nhw wedi cael 2 caniad gwych yn ebyn y hwylffordd ac y bala hefyd, felly dwi'n meddwl fydd reolwr y Canarvon yn hapus iawn os ydw o dal uwch ben Cey Connah ar y tabl ar y diwedd y noson, achos mae'n y gêm calad o'i blaen nhw.
Ac un peth o Richard Davies yn sôn yn y sgwrs ges I hefo fo yn gynharach, momentum, a mae 'na rhywun yn teimlo bod 'na ddynameg yn y tîm yma'n arbennig hefo Zack Clarke a Lloyd yn y llinell flaen.
Ie, be dwi'n hoff o weld efo garfan Canarvon, y cymysgliad o oed. Mae 'na hogiau ifanc yn dysgu y gêm, a mae 'na hogiau efo digon o profiad, a ni'n sôn am pobl fatha Marc Williams yn canol Quay, Darren Thomas, felly mae'n atgoffa fi chydig bach o'n dyddiau gynnar yn Wrexham, felly dwi'n hoff o gweld be mae Canarvon yn trio gwneud yma, ond y test caleta iddyn nhw yn y 45 gêm mae am dod yma, a mae'r bwysau I gyd ar y Cey Connah, achos mae'n y bwysau ar y Cey Connah I gorffen yn ail, achos mae Neil Gibson di adeiladu garfan cystadleuol, ac os nad I nhw'n ennill yma heno, fydd 'na cwestiynau yn cael ei gofyn amdani garfan o.
Wel, dyna ni. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Wayne. Ie, y sylwebaeth yn Saesneg efo Wayne a fi, May Emrys a Malcolm yn Gymraeg, Dylan.
Bryn, diolch yn fawr iawn, fel allwch chi weld. Mae'r ddau dîm, mae un tîm yn barod. Mae Canarvon yn arth I Cey Connah gyrraedd hefyd. 2 gêm arall enwch at Coffa chi, y Seinti Newydd ar y brig yn cwrdd ac Aberystwyth. Aberystwyth ddim di sgorio. Met Caerdydd ddim di ildio eto. Maen nhw'n y dre newydd. Y goliau fel maen nhw'n digwydd ar ein gwefannau cymdeithasol ni ac am olygfa wrth i ni fynd fyny i'r pwynt sylwebion. Ni draw at Malcolm Allen a May Emrys.
Yep, good evening. Thank you, Dylan. And welcome to the Oval here at Caernarfon. Lovely view of the ground and the town. It's Caernarfon starting the match in 2nd position in the Welsh Premier League, having played 4-1-2 and drawn 2. And Quay, 2 home wins, 2 away defeats mean that they, well, you can't say that they're languishing in 6th position at the moment, but in 6th position in the top half of the table as we await both teams out of the changing rooms, as you can see on the far side over there. And as you know, we've got Wayne Phillips with me, and Wayne waiting for both sides at the moment. And this is going to be a stern test for Caernarfon, but is it a sterner test for Connah's Quay?
I think it's going to be a tough game for both sides, and the team who performs best on the evening is the most likely to go on and get all 3 points. But what a start to the season Caernarfon have had. Many would have written them off before any ball was kicked, and they've proven a few people wrong. I, for one, thought that they would go and win their first game of the season at Colwyn Bay. It wasn't an easy game, but they made it look easy at the end, and they followed that up. And that's the thing you have to do. To be consistent in any season is important, and Caernarfon have certainly done that this season. You know, when you've had an away win, to come back to the Oval and to follow it up with another 3 points, that's given them a lot of belief that they can do well this season. And 2 excellent results have followed. You know, Haverfordwest, not an easy place to go, so all credit to the job they've done here in the early stages of the season.
The lineups this evening unchanged, both sides from the matches on Tuesday evening. Caernarfon 1-1 here against Bala, and Connah's Quay's 3-1 victory against Newtown in the Cae Castell at Flint. So both sides unchanged. Richard Davies keeping faith, as does Neil Gibson with the 11 for Connah's Quay.
A sign when managers are happy with their previous performances, Bryn, when teams are unchanged for the next game. And, you know, Richard spoke about, you know, giving the players the opportunity to go out again tonight after the performance he saw against Bala. And Neil Gibson would have been very happy with his midweek win against Newtown. So both teams will be looking forward. It's a fantastic evening here. The low sunshine just going down on the far side, and always a good atmosphere in the Oval. Having played and managed here, I know exactly what it can be like for the opposition, and they played a part in making it as difficult of a night as possible for them. But you know, formations as we've come to expect. Turning up here this evening, both teams going with exactly the same as in the previous game, as I just mentioned, but key players for both sides. Davies in that 10 role for Quay. He could play a key role here on a big oval pitch this evening. So looking forward to it.
Marc Williams there. A very, very experienced player, Welsh Premier Player of the Year 2015-16. He's got 3 assists this season and returning to the Oval. He was here for 5 seasons with the Cofis. Noah Edwards playing for Quay this evening, and it'll be an interesting battle, Wayne, between Noah Edwards and Marc Williams, the 2 experienced players that Tom Owen, the referee, will have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, strange seeing Noah in a different colour to the yellow, canary yellow, but no, it should be a good battle in there. Not only 2 experienced players, 2 players of high quality as well, and 2 players who can carve out an opening, as this man can. Jordan Davies, a player I've seen from a very young age, growing up in the academy of Wrexham, and the wait is over. We'll see what the next 90 plus minutes bring, but first goal is always key in any game, and I'm sure both teams will go out for that first goal this evening.
And it's Quay who have kicked us off. They're playing from left to right in the dark colours this evening. And we're looking directly into the sun that Wayne was alluding to earlier on. And it'll be a bit of a pain for a 5 or 10 minutes or so, Wayne, before it sets on the far side. Quay just build patiently from the back.
Yeah, the team sheet comes in handy as a little visor in that low sun. It looks stunning on the far side, and I'm sure both teams will try and settle quickly into the game. Individual battles are key, and they're all over the pitch this evening, and whoever can win their individual battle first and foremost before they start to think about anything else, that's going to be important for both managers.
But Canarvon, Wayne, many pundits, many experts' favourites to go straight down. I mean, many have forecast that it's going to be between Pontypridd, Aberystwyth and Caernarfon at the start of the season. Well, they've got it so wrong.
Well, it's a good start, and that's all it is, Bryn. 4 games into the season, and I hope I'm wrong, but they could yet still go down. Who's to know what's to come in the next 20, 30, whatever games they play? But you can only go on the start that we've seen, and the start has been excellent for the Cofis. And but it's a tough game. I mentioned about still being ahead of Quay this evening. If that is the case, then they will have been delighted, Caernarfon, with the start they made.
Well, Quay could potentially leapfrog Caernarfon this evening. Caernarfon on 8 points, Quay on 6. And Quay's record against Caernarfon in recent times is quite remarkable. They've not lost in the last 11 against Caernarfon, stretching all the way back to April 2019. And they've won the last 4 games here at the Oval, have the visitors, but that will count for nothing.
Well, no, stats and records are there to be broken. The previous 15 games means nothing as this game is kicked off, and it'll be interesting to see how both teams go about it. I'd expect an open game because of the way that both teams play. Both teams should feel confident with the starts they've made, and coming into the game from a win in midweek, and Caernarfon having that draw against Bala. So it's going to be an interesting start, the first 15-20 minutes.
Then Nash just tidying up at the back to Declan Poole, who's returned to Quay after spending last season at Buxton Town. And it's Quay who just having the better of things in the opening 3 minutes, out with Ryan Harrington up against Ben Wynn playing out on the right for Caernarfon this evening. Noah Edwards, Danny Gossett, Noah Edwards and Darren Thomas. Last season, of course, triumvirate in midfield for Caernarfon. It's Nash to Noah Edwards. Poole. Nash once again. There's 3 players on the edge of the box. Jordan Davies just pointing for the ball. It's picked up by Sean Bradley. Bradley, one of those trademark runs, just drops the shoulder and off he goes.
I think what we've seen in the first 3.5 minutes, Bryn, is a good guide to what we might see excuse me, for a lot of the game. Connor possession, Caernarfon keeping the shape, and then winning the ball back to counter-attack, as we just saw with Sean Bradley. It was a poor ball forward off John Disney, and then it gave Caernarfon the opportunity. But what they're doing, again, yellow shirts behind the ball, and they're going to make it as difficult as possible for Quay.
And it's Declan Poole. Poole, there's an opportunity here for the ball into the box. Well, Kenny was the target, and Mooney the opportunity just to clear, and he was beaten all ends up there. He was fooled by Declan Poole. Williams just punts the long ball forward aimlessly, looking for Zack Clarke, and it's through with John Rushton in goal, who unfortunately is going to be remembered for that own goal win.
He might make up for that this evening. That's what he's hoping for. They can produce a save or two this evening, but I think Connah's Quay have settled the better of the two sides in the opening 4 or 5 minutes, and they're looking a threat. They're picking the ball up in midfield. They look a threat when they come forward. On a couple of occasions for Connah's Quay, the final ball has let them down up to this point.
An effort by Ryan Harrington, and well, a defender's effort if ever there was one.
Why not, Bryn? So early in the game, 5 minutes in, and he's got the room. He can see the goal, the white post of the goals, and it's opened up for him, and it would have taken something spectacular from that sort of range. But I have no problem with a player getting an early shot in at the goalkeeper. But of the two managers, I think Neil Gibson will be quite pleased with what he's seen in 5 minutes of football.
There's a good crowd here out at the Oval Town. There's a good crowd here on Tuesday night as well for the visit of Bala Town, and that's one thing that's been noted this season, Wayne, the number of crowds in the Welsh Premier League. And we've seen it again here tonight at the Oval as Canarvon just press again. Lovely ball by Darren Thomas to Sean Bradley. Did well to keep the ball in play. Bradley held up by Poole. Thomas just looking for, well, Louis Lloyd was there. He was cleared away by Callum Brackley. This is Iwan Cartwright to Lloyd. Lloyd just took his eye off the ball and just shepherded out by Kai Edwards for the goal.
A lovely piece of skill off Darren Thomas, just in front of our commentary position, Bryn. He knows exactly what he's going to do. The run beyond him by Sean Bradley is excellent, and the back heel into his path. Two excellent players for the Cofis, good servants for the football club, and two who could potentially be match winners for any game. So, no, it's a delightful little piece of skill by Darren Thomas.
Bradley has been prominent so far. Danny Gossett for Zack Clarke. Clarke just held up by Ben Nash. Clarke, quick feet, does well to find Bradley. Good tempo to the game. Bradley under pressure. He's got Danny Gossett there. Gossett, long ball looking for Ben Wynn, and he was just held back by Ryan Harrington, and it runs out for a cheap throw into Connah's Quay.
Just feel Caernarfon in the last couple of minutes of finding their feet, asking a question or two in the opposition half. And again, I referred to it in the first 5 minutes about the final ball letting Connah's Quay down. That's what we've seen in the last minute or two from Caernarfon Town. They're in a good position on the field. In that final third, Connah's Quay looking a bit worried. And in that final ball that's put in beyond everybody else when you're asking for a little bit of quality from a very good player.
An aimless ball by Phil Mooney. Neil Gibson just having a quick word with Mr. John Andrew Jones, the fourth official.
Looking quite relaxed at the moment.
Yes, at
Neil,
the moment.
At the moment, yes, yeah. But he referred to the start of his season, at the start of the season his team have made, Bryn, and I totally agreed with everything he said. They've had to play TNS and Bala, two teams you'd expect to finish second, third, first, wherever they may be. So it has been a tough start for them. They'll see this as an opportunity to get an away win. I think you asked the question about not having won away from home this season. But they will have come down at 8:55 this evening believing that first away win of the season will come here this evening.
Well, I was fortunate enough, Wayne, to be at the game between the New Saints and Connah's Quay, and I can honestly say it's the best game of football I've seen at any level for a fair few years. And I think the key was that Connah's Quay scored within the first minute, and that just opened things up, and the floodgates opened, and TNS had to play a more attacking type of game, which eventually cost Connah's Quay.
Yeah, well, I've had one of those games myself this year, one of the best games I'd ever seen, but it was at the racecourse, not the Cymru Prem, a 5-5 game, Wrexham against Swindon. They're cracking games when you get early goals. From a neutral's point of view, it was brilliant, like yourself. But no, we were hoping maybe we get an early goal here this evening, but I think in the early signs, Bryn, it's going to be hard to get that breakthrough. Even though there's been good passages of play from both teams, it's good to see both teams going at each other.
Danny Gossett was lucky there with a back pass to Lewis Webb in goal. And well, the golden rule, back pass to the keeper, don't put it on target, and exactly what Danny Gossett did.
How often do you see it? You know, we all know, and we've all been out on the pitch when we've all done it. But lucky enough, Caernarvon got away with it.
And it's Jordan Davies. He's got a long throw as Jordan Davies. Header back by Nash. And is planted into the back of the net by Declan Poole. Less than 10 minutes on the clock. It's the visitors who take the lead. The Caernarfon defence couldn't deal with the long throw. Headed on. Poole wasn't offside. And Declan Poole scores his first goal of the season since returning from Buxton Town.
Well, I have to say it's far too easy for Connah's Quay. Caernarfon should have known what was coming, a long throw into the box, and the ball lands at the feet of Declan Poole. He's basically unmarked, Bryn. He's 6 yards out, and there's no way a player of Declan Poole's quality is not going to miss a chance like that so early in the game. I'm sure Caernarfon's manager, Richard, will be so disappointed that they haven't dealt with the first long throw that has come into the penalty area. They haven't competed for the first header, they haven't won the second ball, and they find themselves 1 goal down.
And it was Phil Mooney who was playing Declan Poole on side. The assist by Jack Kenny. Long throw headed on by Ben Nash. Kenny with a touch. And Poole with the opening goal. Not undeserved, Wayne.
No, they've started well, but you just felt Caernarfon had grown into the game a little bit, and they'll certainly be disappointed with the quality of the goal they've just conceded, because when you're playing Connah's Quay, you know what way they play, how they play, and you could see there was a long throw going to come into the penalty area. They should have defended it better, Caernarfon, but it's so early in the game. They've got 80-odd minutes to do something about it, Bryn.
And a long ball by Cartwright looking for Louis Lloyd. 19-year-old Lloyd, 20-year-old Zack Clarke, and youth in Caernarfon's front line. Another thing that Richard Davies did mention, that he just wanted more tempo in his squad, and he's got that up front certainly in loads, hasn't he?
He certainly has. He's got. I've mentioned the youthfulness in the squad, but we spoke also about this being possibly Caernarfon's toughest test to date this season. It certainly is now, when they've gone 1-0 down after 10 minutes. Let's see what they're made of now, because you know they've got to forget about what's happened in the last minute or two. They've got to settle. And hopefully Caernarfon can be the team to ask a few questions as the game goes on, because you always feel, even at this early stages, next goal is crucial. You know, going 2-0 down against Connah's Quay would be very difficult to come back. Caernarfon, should they go on and get the next goal of the game, they will certainly have a game on.
Jake Canavan with the opening goal for the New Saints. So New Saints won Aberystwyth at 0, not unexpected. And Caernarfon's next match is away against Aberystwyth, and then another away game against Penabont. So I suppose they'd be confident going down to Aberystwyth, Wayne.
Yes, I'd like to think they would, but it's been proven, Bryn, that no games are ever easy. It's a good ball forward. Russian doing well just to shepherd the ball out of play, but you know, it's settled quite nicely. You know, the early goal that a neutral would have wanted has come for Connah's Quay, but now it's a case of Caernarfon just settling for the next 5-10 minutes, not conceding the second goal, and hopefully the home team can get a crowd behind them. They need to be performing on the field for them to be doing that.
Apologies if you did hear any foul language picked up by our pitchside microphones. There's Nash. Long ball forward looking for Jack Kenny. Kenny does well. Oh, and he's just clipped there by Marc Williams. A clever foul.
I totally agree, Bryn. Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing. Marc Williams, you know, that pace probably gone away a little bit from a player who's been a very good servant. You know, a young player I saw coming through the ranks at Wrexham Football Club. He's a lovely lad as well. Him and his brother, and I'm glad to see he's enjoying his football here at Caernarfon Town this season.
Now it's John Disney lining up the free kickers, Ben Nash. awaits far side of the penalty area. Disney again to Declan Poole. His goal separates the sides. His goal after 10 minutes to Noah Edwards. Disney is quite happy to play back to Quay Edwards. Brothers for Connor's Quay this evening, of course. Quay Edwards and Noah Edwards. Wayward pass picked up by Darren Thomas. Thomas, one of those trademark touches by Darren Thomas, falls to Zack Clarke. Clarke to Iwan Cartwright. Too much on it. And that's a disappointment and more frustration for Canarvon.
Yeah, right idea. The wrong execution by Zack Clarke, and hand up to apologise. He knows the pass could have been a little bit better out to that right-hand side for Iwan Cartwright. But what Neil Gibson will look from his team now, after taking the lead, is to carry on putting the pressure on Canarvon. He, for one, will not allow his team to sit back and settle for the goal they have. He's one who demands a lot from his players, and absolutely love the idea of the way he manages and the way he plays, and it'll always bring the best out of players.
Poole out to the far side to Ryan Harrington, who's playing very, very high up this evening, and just wins the throw-in off Ben Wynn.
You can hear the shout, leave it, and you can understand why. The goal coming after 10 minutes from an identical position on that far side. If it's worked once, why can't it work again? But Canarvon will have needed to have learned their lesson from that first goal, Bryn, because they know what's coming into the box. They have to win this first header.
Past a quarter of an hour at the Oval, it's Jordan Davies again with the long throw. Ryan Austin just takes control, and it eventually finds Louis Lloyd. Now then, Lloyd, he's got nobody there with him at the moment. Quay Edwards, wonderful defending by the experienced Quay Edwards, and Canarvon just regained possession. Ben Wynn, Noah Edwards.
Louis Lloyd gave him a chance, gave Quay a chance, and what he should be doing there in that position. Easy for me to say from this commentary position. Louis Lloyd at 19 years of age, he should be knocking the ball 10 yards past Quay. The last thing Quay Edwards wants to do is to be running back towards his own goal, Bryn. But he gave Quay the opportunity to get his tackle in. So, you need to know who you're playing against. That'll come with experience from the youngster. But it was a well-timed tackle by Quay Edwards.
Disney. Every game from John Disney. Solid performance to Callum Brackley. Brackley. To Noah Edwards. Harrington. And he's got Jordan Davies out on the far side. Noah Edwards has continued the run to try to draw the defenders. Davies, joint top scorer in the Welsh Prem with Adrian Sislovic. Jordan Davies. Brackley just harried there by Danny Gossett. And the throw-in goes to the visitors. Ryan Sears has scored for Newtown. Newtown 1, Cardiff Met 0, and that's the first goal that Cardiff Met have conceded this season.
Yeah, big game for Newtown this evening. In the fact that they need to get more points on the board. But first goals, we mentioned and referred to how key it is in any game, Bryn. When you get a first goal in any level, no matter what level you play, it does make you feel better out on the pitch. And but then when you concede the next goal, you never feel as good.
Newtown third from bottom. It's the start of the evening, and a victory would give them a jump up to the 8th spot. As Brackley just again tidies the ball back to John Rushton to Declan Poole. To Harry Franklin. Very little we've seen of Franklin so far this season. Ball back into the box. There's an opportunity there for the visitors. And they win the throw-in, but they're pressing again, Wayne.
Yeah, they are. They're pushing. They're a good side, Connah's Quay, and a side I fully expect to be pushing the New Saints at the top end of the table at the end of the season, even though we know there is a goal. A team who's full time, it's difficult to compete again. But I know for a fact Neil Gibson and his coaching team of Lee Jones and Macca will be hoping that they're the team to be the closest to the New Saints at the end of the season.
Well, they're bossing things at the moment. I'd like to see a possession graphic. I'm sure it would be sort of 70-30 in Connah's Quay's favour.
Possession counts for nothing, as we've seen many a game this season. You know, of teams having 85% possession, losing the game. So goals is all that matters, and at the moment Canarvon being that one goal down, that's the stat they need to change more than anything else this evening.
Disney just out-muscles Zack Clarke, an opportunity for Davies, and it was Harrington with a cross, an effort for Noah Edwards, and it just cleared away, fortunately, off Ryan Austin. And Canarvon, well, they're under all sorts of pressure at the moment. They just can't clear their lines.
You sense the second goal for Connah's Quay. The way they're playing, they're full of confidence, they're playing well, they're getting into the opposition penalty area, and chances are starting to come for Neil Gibson's men.
Poole, Edwards, lucky for the run of Declan Poole once again. But these second balls, they're all falling for Connah's Quay, and look at the space that Noah Edwards has got to whip that cross in. Harry Franklin, little touch to Poole, was there a handball there? Well, it was Phil Mooney. And there's only one side in it at the moment, and Canarvon are all over the place.
A couple of things highlighted there for me with Canarvon, Bryn. They're under pressure. They've been under pressure for 3 or 4 minutes. Neil Gibson is delighted with what he's seen from his team. Danny Gossett trying to play a short ball in his own half when he's got 70 yards up to the end just to get rid of the ball, and it gives his defenders an opportunity to push out the halfway line and the ball's as far away as possible from his own goal. But he tries to play a short pass, it gets cut out, and they're under pressure again.
And it's Jordan Davies again. It's another long throw to put pressure on the Canarvon defence. As Bradley just chases after Jordan Davies, fleet-footed.
The old cliche, they've got to stay in the game. Stay in the game as long as possible. We were at a game last week, so dominant in the first half. The game we watched, only the 1 goal. It came back to bite them in the second half. So that's what Canarvon need to do here. Stay in the game for as long as possible. And what I mean by that is don't concede a second goal.
There's the elder brother, Kai Edwards. And the other brother, Noah Edwards. And here's Dad.
Dad looks the youngest of the 3. Happy that he's not in a difficult position this year, Bryn, because they're both playing for the same team. You know, been around the grounds for many years, seen Dad watching brothers playing against each other. Who do you support? The team who wins. Or he hopes there's a draw game. Yeah,
and he was standing with Sean Bradley's father there, by the way. So,
good dads, as we do. We all go around getting to watch these games.
Yes, we do. Oh, lovely play by Franklin, who was taken out by Phil Mooney. Now then, Kenny, nobody in the middle. Jordan Davies is in the middle if Kenny can get his cross away, but Franklin still down in the centre circle, by the way. And Tom Owen, the referee, surely he'll have to stop play. As Harry Franklin's in a bit of trouble here as Jordan Davies just holds the ball up. Davies still going, and still there for Jordan Davies. He's got Kenny in the middle, ball across, and cleared away. And Darren Thomas, as Franklin just gets gingerly to his feet. And down again. He's just got down again as Harry Franklin.
Yeah, looks a little bit in pain. You know, when it's a kick to the ankle, there's a little bit of complaints coming in from a few of Connah's Quay's players. We'll see the incident now. He comes in. It's a mistimed tackle in it, a split second. But always look worse in slow motion. You know, I think he's made a proper attempt to try and win the ball, and it's unfortunate that split second. It's Franklin who's come off the worst. So, yeah, disappointing for Franklin, but I'm sure he'll be up on his feet. But just gives Canarvon a little time to gather their thoughts, come together, and have a thought on how they can influence the way they're going to change the game. Because for the last 6, 7, 8 minutes, all we've done is look to our right-hand side.
Remember, next Wednesday evening, 9:30, looking forward to Wales's international matches Thursday night. Wales against South Korea. And then a week on Monday, it's Riga, Latvia against Wales. And you'd think, Wayne, that the Riga match against Latvia, where Rob Page is concerned, it's a must-win.
Yes, it is. You know, it's nice to win every game, but there's added pressure now. So, yeah, and I'm sure, you know, he's picked the squad what he thought is going to be good enough to go on and win the game, Bryn. So let's keep our fingers crossed and let's keep the faith that he can do that.
There's the goal that separates the sides, scored by Declan Poole. After 10 minutes, the long throw from Jordan Davies causing havoc in the defence. It was Phil Mooney who was playing him onside, and he took it well, didn't he?
It's a lovely finish. You know, he slotted it beautifully the inside of the right foot. He had all the corner to aim at, and he's put it into that side netting. So a well-taken goal, but far too easily in the way that the ball fell to him.
Past the halfway point of the second half, of the first half, I should say. There's Declan Poole with the clear of the throw in. Runs out for Caernarfon. Harry Franklin back on.
Keep an eye on him. Next 5-10 minutes. A player I always look forward to watching, Bryn. I still feel like there's more to come from him, and I'm sure Neil Gibson is the man who can get the best out of the youngsters. So let's hope we can see him getting back to full fitness this evening, and then, you know, hopefully we'll see some good bits from him.
Brackley playing in a more central role this evening for Connah's Quay. Now to Declan Poole. He's giving Phil Mooney the run around this evening. Oh, lovely ball again into the box, into the far post, looking for Jordan Davies. It's Harrington. Oh, what a save. Lovely save by Webb. It was Lewis Webb. The effort from Ryan Harrington, tried to caress the ball into the top corner.
It's a brilliant save. Good play by Connah's Quay. Initially from Disney, he plays a delightful ball into the back stick. Brilliant defending, you have to say. The ball falling on that left-hand side. Harrington bending the ball into the top corner, and somehow the keeper, Webb, does brilliantly to basically keep his team in the game.
It's Disney with the corner kick beyond Noah Edwards. Nash back to Harrington. Harrington just stops for Callum Brackley. Brackley, look at the space that Callum Brackley's got, and John Disney on this right-hand side. Caernarfon will have to address that. As the effort comes in from Brackley, it's another wonderful save. It was Brackley with the effort, and Lewis Webb once again, as Darren Thomas tries to play the ball through looking for Louis Lloyd. Another wonderful save from the keeper.
Brilliant by the youngster in goal. You know, doing everything to keep his team in the game. A team who has come under real severe pressure for 15 minutes. 2 excellent saves within a minute, Bryn. The second one possibly a little bit more difficult, because when we get to see the replay, we'll see it takes a wicked deflection, but he's kept his eye on the ball and he's done ever so well.
Here we go, and there's an opportunity for Noah Edwards, and it's there again for Edwards. How on earth is it still only 1 goal to Connah's Quay?
Chance after chance, one-way traffic. Caernarvon just unable to get out of their own half, and they'll be delighted they've had a free kick just to slow things down and calm things down a little. But what you do need, if you're going to be successful against the Connah's Quay side, you need people playing well, and certainly, as we see here, the goalkeeper, on that occasion, he doesn't get there. He relied heavily on his defender to do the business, as he's done. And then this couple of saves we've just seen were excellent saves to keep the score just to 1 goal.
Well, he's on loan from Swansea City as the keeper, Lewis Webb. He was indebted to Sean Bradley there. And now it's Caernarfon pressing once again with Ben Wyn, and it's Callum Brackley back doing the leg work. Excellent play by Callum Brackley. He's playing that role in midfield, this evening, Callum Brackley, but he's just breaking play up, isn't he?
And he's good at doing that. remember him well from a couple of seasons back when he had a brilliant season at Flint with Neil Gibson. He was one of the star players of the season in that midfield role, and it's a good little battle in there. You know, you've got the likes of Danny Gossett, Marc Williams for Caernarfon, and then you've got Jordan Davies, Callum Brackley, Disney's floating about there, so it's a good battle, but I'd have to say it's been a dominant display after 29 minutes by Connah's Quay.
Well, I was just going to say, we've rarely mentioned Danny Gossett and Marc Williams and Darren Thomas. They've just not been able to get into the game at all. Such is Connah's Quay's dominance.
And I think it's no fault of the way Caernarfon are trying to play. It's just the sheer quality they've come up against this evening. And you know, the one thing that'll disappoint Neil Gibson at this stage, they haven't gone further ahead. You know, and I refer back to that only one goal in it. You know, and if Caernarfon can get to half-time, Bryn, and it remains just the one goal, I think Fish will be absolutely delighted in that changing room.
Well, earlier on, you were alluding to Barrow against Wrexham last weekend that we were both at, and it's very, very similar, isn't it, where Wrexham dominated the first half and then were made to pay for missing all those chances in the first half.
It certainly is, and the other thing I say quite often in football games, you never get two halves the same. And I can guarantee that'll happen here this evening. You know, the whole dominance we've seen from Connah's Quay, we may not see half of that in the second half. So Caernarfon have just got to get to half-time. If that means defending well and not conceding in the goal without creating a chance here at the end, then that's what they have to do.
Darren Thomas deemed to have fouled Jack Kenny, former teammates, of course, here at the Oval. And the Caernarfon captain giving the free kick away. It's John Disney. Half an hour played.
Puffing and puffing a bit, Darren. But he's had to do a lot of chasing. And that's how it happens in some games, Bryn. You don't get to see much of the ball. There's two sides of winning. You know, David Moyes, West Ham, alluded to that last week in their game against Brighton. All the possession Brighton had, his West Ham team went on to win. And it's always nice to see attractive football, but there's different ways to win football games. And that's hopefully what we'll see from Caernarfon here this evening.
Well, Richard Davies, when he'll just assess what's happened in the opening 31 minutes, and I shouldn't think he'll be happy at all with the amount of space that these players are giving to Connah's Quay. The free kick taken earlier on by John Disney, it was just a simple ball down the line, and then they could build from that. Yeah,
players have got to get closer, players have got to get tighter, but I think the one thing that won't surprise him is the quality of the team he's up against this evening. He will have known Connah's Quay are a very good side. We mentioned the teams they've played, Bala and the New Saints away, not easy places to go to. But I knew Neil Gibson would have targeted this game this evening as a winnable game, and they've shown some real quality in that first half.
Aaron Williams with the second for Newtown. Newtown 2, Cardiff Met 0. As Darren Thomas just pulls the trigger. And, Caernarfon's best opportunity possibly in the first half with 32 minutes played.
He's a long way out, but we've seen very little of Darren and Caernarfon. And I can see no reason why he shouldn't go for goal from this reason. There was an opportunity with a pass out wide right. Ewan Cartwright had made a good run, but we've seen Darren score some special goals, certainly at I was going to say the racecourse, at the Oval. And he came close to maybe trying to do that again this evening, but worth the effort. Execution was poor.
So Newtown 2, Cardiff Met 0, the New Saints 1, Aberystwyth 0, and here it's Declan Poole's goal after 10 minutes. That separates the size of a long throw into the box by Jordan Davies, headed on by Ben Nash, touch by Jack Kenny, and Declan Poole just slotted home as Harry Franklin. Well, Noah Edwards, he's never going to win that race against Sean Bradley, two who know each other so well, and Noah Edwards just deemed to have fouled Sean Bradley.
Silly free kick off Noah. Sean's in a difficult position, deep in his own half, and it's an easy one for the referee or linesman to make, and it gives Caernarfon just that minute or two of a breather again. 33 minutes into the game, the man we're seeing, Neil Gibson, happy on one hand that his team have gone in front, but disappointed that the dominance he has seen from Connah's Quay hasn't produced another goal.
And you'd think, Wayne, if it stays like this till the break, then Richard Davies will certainly have to make changes or change the system. And you look at the options on the bench, well, Dean Donahue is an obvious one maybe to come on just to influence things from the back.
Personally, I wouldn't go too early with half-time changes. Personally, I think, you've got to give the players a fair crack to go out and prove something in the early stages of the second half. But one thing they don't want to do is to be 2-0 down half-time.
Well, they could be here. Jordan Davies, far too much on that one. He went past the defender. He went past Ben Wynn. Oh, so easily. It's Poole, Declan Poole, Disney to Brackley. Now to Ryan Harrington. Now then, if he can get the ball into the box. Harrington again. Is there an effort? There is. Harrington, not for the first time, trying his luck from outside the box. And it's Clarke. Oh, he did well there. He did really well, did Zack Clarke. But it was Kai Edwards.
It's that space again, Bryn. That space down the channel. He's just got to knock it. He's got young legs. He should be able to outrun Kai Edwards. And, it just gives you that breathing space going beyond defenders. Losing the ball, losing possession. Connah's Quay are going to come back at you.
It's an open game. Darren Thomas looking for Lloyd, lovely control, brings the ball down and is cleared away for a corner kick. Canarvon's first corner kick conceded by Declan Poole. Lovely touch by Lloyd.
Sweet ball of Darren Thomas over the back of the full-back into the path of Lloyd. He takes it down, lovely. And then the Connah's Quay defenders have a problem because he's inside the penalty area. Declan Poole, Ben Nash dealt with it very well, and they have conceded the first corner of the evening for Canarvon. And this is how games can change. A set piece, and you never know, they could be back in the game.
Into the final 10 minutes of the first half, it's Sean Bradley with the signal. It's a deep one this time beyond Ryan Austin. Falls for Danny Gossett. And it was a combination there of Jack Kenny and Callum Bradley, who threw themselves at the ball.
Great block. For somebody who has the quality on the edge of a box to score the odd spectacular goal, as we've seen over the years from Danny Gossett. 2 or 3 Connah's Quay players throwing their bodies in, and denying Gossett the effort in on goal.
No, it's Ben Wynn. Ben Wynn's got a good throw as well. Beyond Kai Edwards, he just mistimed his leap there. There's Davis and Declan Poole between them, and Poole just chopped down there by Darren Thomas. And he'll see a yellow card for the captain, the first yellow card of the evening to the Caernarfon captain, Darren Thomas.
An easy yellow card to be given to Darren Thomas. Thomas Owen, no hesitation to bring the card out. Darren Thomas nowhere near winning the ball. A lunge, you have to say, when there was no reason in that area of the pitch. And he's not that sort of player, Darren, usually. But that could come from a little bit of frustration from the half his team have had. What Darren needs to do is settle down, see his team through to half-time, and as a captain, be the one to lead by example. And he usually does that, Darren. The quality servant for the football club. He's having a word or two there by the referee. And Darren would have known that he was going to be shown the card.
Frustration was quite clear there, wasn't it, from Darren Thomas? You could see that on his body language, his demeanour.
Now you have to be careful when you're on a yellow card. We know what the game's like these days. Any mistimed tackle, and the last thing Canarvon would want would be to go down to 10 men. It's been hard enough with 11.
Well, Adam Davies saw it, of course, against Newtown, where he just kicked the ball away. And he'd already seen a yellow card, and Canarvon finished with, I think, about 15 minutes with 10 men. Bradley picks the ball and then gives the ball away to Disney needlessly there. Sean Bradley, Kai Edwards. And it just feels really, really comfortable for Connah's Quay at the moment, Wayne.
Yeah, I think it's an understatement to say that. That we've seen a glimpse of Canarvon in the early stages, and then we saw a little minute or two then, Bryn. But the one thing Connah's Quay have had is a lot of possession, a couple of very good chances. Canarvon relying heavily on the goalkeeper, who produced 2 magnificent saves to deny Connah's Quay getting that second goal. And now the aim will be down on the bench is for his team to get to half time without conceding that second goal.
Well, this is how the first goal came. It was a throw-in by Jordan Davies, a short one this time to Harry Franklin. But, good defensive duties by Danny Gossett. Good skills to clear the ball away. Did well there, did Danny Gossett. And it falls to Louis Lloyd.
Youthfulness coming into play there, Louis Lloyd. Ball on the halfway line. You put your Mike Wilde in that situation, he'll win you a free kick. You know, but how long has he been around for? And that will come to the youngsters. You know, they're learning the game, you know, in a tough league. And it's important, you know, when you're under pressure, that you do the right things and you don't give the ball away cheaply, because you think giving the ball away one end is okay, Bryn, but quickly that ball can be in the back of your net the other end. So they have to learn quickly, these youngsters, and I'm sure they will.
To answer your question, Wayne, Mike Wilde has been around for 40 years. He was 40 last Sunday. So happy birthday to Mike Wilde, who's sitting down underneath us, by the way. We're above the benches here at the Oval, so maybe we'll lean over at half-time and wish him happy birthday.
He might get his birthday wish and come onto the field and maybe score, as Mike Wilde usually does. But, you know, you look at the benches, it's a strong bench. When you've got the play of Mike Wilde's calibre sitting on the bench, you know, you think one player's going off and you see him coming on. It's a defender's nightmare.
Bradley, ball through for Ben Wynn. And Wynn, it was Clarke rather, it was Zack Clarke rather, with the effort.
We'll put it down as a shot on goal. Good effort on the turn. The youngster, nothing else in his mind, Bryn, other than his back to goal, trying to get half a yard. He got that half a yard very well, but it was an easy one for John Rushton to deal with, you know, straight down the middle into the safe hands. And Connah's Quay remain 1 goal in front.
With 4 minutes remaining of the first half, Brackley back to Ben Nash. The Cayettas and Neil Gibson will be more than content to see his players just passing the ball across the back, keeping possession, throwing Canarvon out, and then playing balls to players like Declan Poole, who has room just to roam down this right-hand side. Franklin, first-time ball, looking for the run of Poole, and again, that second ball just falls for Noah Edwards, who's really enjoying coming back to the Oval, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's doing what Noah Edwards normally does in a football game, you know. Keeps things simple, technically good on the ball, moves the ball around quickly, and he's been no different here this evening in a ground that he knows all too well.
Oh, good play here by Ben Wynn. Whips the ball into the box, looking for Darren Thomas. Thomas, lovely touch. Thomas into the box, looking for Zack Clarke, but Clarke, ball just taken away from him by Callum Brackley. It's a good move again by Canarvon.
Brilliant defensive play from Callum Brackley, but after excellent play from Canarvon, when you think they're going to get half a chance going into these last few minutes. They've had a better spell, Canarvon. The last 3, 4, 5 minutes has been better off them, because they're pressing Connah's Quay back, and you know, that will concern Neil Gibson, because his team have only got the 1 goal to show for all their effort in the first half.
Good effort there by Sean Bradley. Cartwright headed away by Ben Nash. Knew very little about that, came very, very quickly towards Nash, and it just diverts out for a corner kick to Canarvon.
Finishing the half well, Canarvon. You know, and that'll please them, you know, after coming through that difficult spell of 20-25 minutes when they were under the cosh, and they're finishing strongly. You know, a goal now would really take the stuffing out of Connah's Quay, but you know, it's something they can build on for the second half, but Canarvon will be hoping a chance comes from this corner.
Into the last 2 minutes of the first half, Sean Bradley, another deep one, looking for Ryan Austin, goes beyond Austin. Now there's an opportunity here for Lloyd. Good play by Louis Lloyd. Oh, was there a handball there? That's the claim off Callum Brackley, but Tom Owen had a lovely view of that.
I think it'd have been harsh to give this as a handball, because all he's done is stand there. We'll have a see now. Yeah. No comments.
No. No. Silence is golden, Wayne Phillips. Clarke waiting for the throw into the near post, headed away by Kai Edwards. Gossett just muscled out of it by Noah Edwards. Mooney. Cartwright, he was under pressure. It turns out to be a good pass, looking for Danny Gossett. And the ball cleared away again, only as far as Darren Thomas. Lovely skills by Darren Thomas. Into Sean Bradley. Bradley drops the shoulder. And just ricochets into the path of Callum Brackley under pressure. And he does really well, does Callum Brackley.
Connor's Quay on the ropes. Who'd have thought this 20-25 minutes ago, Bryn? But, you know, it's something that they can take into that change rooms in a few minutes' time. Canarvon, and they look at this positiveness that they've shown in the last 4 or 5 minutes, because finishing the half strongly is giving them a bit of confidence to go into that second half. And I've said, no two halves are the same. You know, for all the dominance we've seen by Connor's Quay in that first half, Caernarfon Town are still in the game.
Former Caernarfon player Ben Clark with the second for the New Saints. 2 Saints, 2 Everest with nil. It was CJ Craven with a goal for Cardiff Met as Connor's Quay break, looking for the second just before half time. You understand there's going to be 3 minutes. There's 3 minutes added on at the end of the first half, which these days, Wayne, it seems very, very little, doesn't it? 3 minutes.
It does, yes, yeah. Wait till the second half, Bryn. It could be double.
Williams, Gossett, trying to find Phil Mooney, too much on it from Gossett, and that just about sums up possibly how things have gone for Caernarfon in the first half. Much promise, but nothing coming of it.
Yeah, no, at least they've shown in the last 5 minutes that, you know, they've come through difficult spells, and you know, it was key that they didn't concede that second goal so soon after conceding the first. But you know, the game's still there for both sides. There'll be disappointment for certain inside the Connor's Quay change room at half time that this game could have been done and dusted, and it could have been a relaxable second half for manager Neil Gibson. But he'll still feel a little bit edgy. He doesn't show it at times. Him and Lee Jones on the side, thinking, you know, that they'll have words half time, and they'll want much of the same from their team, but we'd like to think there's more to come from Caernarfon.
So Harry Franklin still feeling the challenge by Phil Mooney possibly, but he's going to soldier on. That'll just add a minute or so on at the end of the first half.
Yeah, it'd be silly to make the change now, even if he is struggling. You know, give him that 15 minutes in the change rooms to try and get himself right, and if he is out for the second half, then it's a bonus.
Here's the challenge again by Phil, who's mistimed more than malicious.
Same 2 players, was it? That's the first challenge on.
It was the same one, Win. They showed the same one again. Ryan Austin.
Test, friend, testing you.
Ben Wynn to Zack Clarke, just drawn out to the centre. Zack Clarke. Austin, he's had a good start to the season for Caernarfon since joining from Wrexham. I've been very, very impressed with Ryan Austin.
Yeah, he's a good player, you know, and it'll do him the world of good to come down to this level and you know, play men's football, and he'll become a man quickly. But no, good start to his career here at Caernarfon.
Approaching the final few seconds there. I should think there'll be a minute or 2 added on because of the attention that Harry Franklin wanted. There's lovely evening here in Caernarfon. Kai Edwards. Ben Nash. All eyes on Mr. Tom Owen, the referee, who is quite happy to let things carry on at the moment. Franklin to Declan Poole. And it's out by Callum Brackley to Ryan Harrington. Harrington to Poole. Poor ball there by Harrington and Callum Bratley with the foul on Louis Lloyd.
That should be it, Bryn. Now, you know, I think the ball, once it's in play, we might hear the half-time whistle. The half-time.
It's been a good first half win. It's been very, very open. Both sides going for it. Hope we see the second half something similar.
Yeah, there was some excellent play from the away side for large chunks of the first half.
Now Mr. Tom Owen does indeed blow the half-time whistle. It's Declan Poole's goal on 10 minutes. His first goal for Quay since returning from Buxton Town. That separates the sides. Neil Gibson will be more than content with what he's seen so far. Food for thought for Richard Davies. Half-time here at the Oval. It's Caernarfon 1, Caernarfon 0, Quay 1. And now we'll have a look at the shortlist for goal of the season, the month even. Rich. Sgelfydd unwaith eto campus allan at Jordan Williams. Rwan ta Williams newydd greu gol I McManus. Jordan Williams! Os gen Cey Conna ddim ateb o gwbl I ddewiniaeth y seintia newydd ar ddechrau'r ail hanner yma. Seintia newydd 5, Cey Conna 2.
Masat Little. Wel Davies o'i flaen Y ddau'n cyd chwarae lawr o dde. Di Little am gyrraedd yn y gornel. Ydy, mae'r coesiad yn dod fewn. Ac mae'n mynd i'r gornel. Ambeniad. Oedd y coesiad yn un da. Gan Little a Harling oedd yn o'i benio fewn. I gornel ucha. Zack Jones gael llechen lan wrth osdetha. Methu a dal y bel. Dyla Davies. Davies. A'r croesiad, Zack Jones yn dyrnu, mae Cyn Owen yno. Cyn Owen yn codi bel, fewn i'r rwyd! Zack Jones oedd ar ei linell, a Cyn Owen yn manteisio. A capten, yn ymestyn mantes, pen y bont. Mae gan y cwarter awr I fynd. Maen nhw'n dechrau edrych yn saff nawr o'r fuddugoliaeth.
Dyma cyfle cynnar I Acpan, ond mae Lewis wedi darllen honna am y Creamer! Creamer! O, dyna chi gol! Wel, ai, y bain wythnos y tymor yn efallai bod ni wedi cael gol y tymor yn barod. Peniad allan gan Mike Lewis. Screamer gan Creamer I Mike Owen.
Wel, I fod yn deg, nath y gol geidwad y penderfyniad cywir. Oedd rhaid I fe dod allan I glifio'r bel yna, ond y weledigeth o Creamer. Mae rhaid canmol hynny. Oedd yr amseru yn berffaith, oedd y dechneg yn berffaith a'r cywirdeb.
Oedd y techneg yn berffaith, oedd y techneg anodd.
Digon posib mae dyma'r cyfle ola rhyw hanner munud o'r amser wedi ychwanegu sydd ar ôl. Richard Bruzese yn ei chod iddi. Dros ben pawb! Ac mae'n gol! Wel am ddiweddglo am dipyn o gêm. Richard Bruzese yn codi'r gicrydd na yn berffaith ac yn sgori gol gynta'r tymor i'r Hopffordd ac yn dwy'n pwynt yn hwyr iawn yn erbyn yr ymwelwyr.
Heston. Devon y bas yn ôl. Rhys Heston yn codi ben. Mae'n Neil Mitchell. Y cyffyrddiad yr ergyd i'r gornel ucha. O, dwi wedi gweld Neil Mitchell yn sgorio goliau hyfryd i'r Dynewydd dros y blynyddoedd. Mae hwn yn arall i'r tîm toppion yn Lyfrec a'r Sws. Ar cyfle. Croesiad ddim yn un da I Heston. Heston heibio Hughes Hampson o'r pwydd iawn, a mae Erwe o leia I flaen. O, mae heibio i'n golo Cele hefyd. Rhys Heston am y gol! A mae'n rhwydo! Gol o llythrenol, un pen y cae i'r llall. A Rhys Heston yn sgorau 4 gol yn barod y tymor hwn. Oedd hi'n glasur.
George Hughes, codi bel ymlaen. Louis Robles, y gweithio'n galad. I adfer y meddiant. Yr ergyd, a mae'n 1-1! Y foli o ochr o gwrth Cosby gan George Hughes. I gol gyntaf o ers mis Rhagfyr 2021. Ac bod Connah wedi rheoli'r meddiant yn y chwarter awr gyntaf, mae'r Dre Newydd wedi unioni'r sgôr.
Dyna ni, a gewch chi ddarganfod pwy sydd di ennill ar sgorio nos lun. Wayne Phillips fydd yn dewis fel hyn mai o ran y gemau eraill heno. Met Gaerdydd ddildio am y tro cynta tymor yma. Sears gath y gol cynta i'r Dre Newydd yn y gem yna. Marc Williams yn 2 gol i 1. Mae Craven di taro nôl i Met Caerdydd, un o'r clybiau sydd ddim wedi colli. Mae'n colli enw'r Saint Newydd ar y blaen o 2 gol i ddim. Canarvon a Clarke ar goliau iddyn nhw, a Aberystwyth dal ddim di sgorio tymor yma. Dyna'r sefyllfa. Mae yna goliau wedi bod fan hyn. Wel, dim ond 1 goliau. Gol, dylen ni weid. Falle, o'n i'n disgwyl goliau, na pam wedi gweud y gair yna. Syni, mae dim ond 1 i ddim yw i, a fydd Connah falle'n poeni, mae dim ond gol i ddim yw i.
Bydd oherwydd, pan ti'n mewn gol i ddim, a ti di chwarae mor sal, a mae Canarvon yn ei hanner gynta, gynnwch chi bob tro siawns. Dyn nhw, mae'n di bod stuck yn y traps do, am ryw dros hanner awr. Maen nhw wedi dod yn ôl i'r gêm, jyst ar ddiwedd a hanner y fanna. Ond tacteca, cynllun, Neil Gibson, yn dod i fewn i'r gêm, efo'i diamont, efo cadw meddiant, ac cadw meddiant pwrpasol, sy'n dim bod tro'n mynd yn ôl i'r ochr, mynd ymlaen hefyd, a ffeindio pocedi James Davies yn ei dydanu hynny. Ond lawr yr esgyll, maen nhw wedi creu gymaint o broblema, yn creu 2 yn erbyn 1, yn erbyn ond 1 wingbacks, Ben Wyn a Sean Bradley i Canarvon.
Gen i weld y gol, nawr digwydd bod, a dyna sy'n esbonio fe, achos o'n i'n canmol Canarvon cyn y gêm, a'i tactegau Connah sydd wedi sicrhau'r sefyllfa yma. Un cwestiwn oherwydd ffordd maen nhw wedi symud y belo un ochr y cae llall, a wedi cymryd mantais chwarae 2 yn erbyn 1. Dydy chwaraewyr canol cae, Gosset a Marc Williams ddim wedi shuffle a draws digon sydyn i wneud siw bod o ddim wedi digwydd. Just bygwth o ddigwydd, o hond i'r gol. Hwna'n berffaith o esiampl, de, o ti eisiau bod gyntaf i'r bel. A dwi wedi dweud bod tro, gynnwch chi reol mewn pêl-droed, os ti'n gyntaf i'r bel yn y 2 cwrt Cosby, ei dim bell yn anghywir. Wel, faint o weithiau gath nhw gyffyrddiad cyntaf fan wan. Gath y peniad gan Nash, gath Kenny just gosod ti, ac yn glinigol Pŵl yn sgorio i. Felly, 10 munud i fynd, mae rhaid ti fod yna gosach na hynny. Mae rhaid o frifo chdi pan ti'n ildio goliau fel la. Gallu fod yn fwy, gyn i weld yr arbediad.
Go iawn, dwi waith efo web.
Lwcus bod yno.
Ie, go iawn. Hon i wel, hon oedd yr ergyd, dod i fewn. Gath ormod amser. Gath Canarvon i rybuddio am Harrington yn y dechrau. Wan, mae'n crwydro mewn i'r cwrs Cosby. Neb yn ei pwysau efo. Mae'n nid not symud y bel a jyst gosod ti i grymanu mewn i'r postyn bella. Rhy hawdd, ond arbediad da. Hon yn well. Mae yna wiriad yma na, de, lle mae o'n mynd un ffordd ac yn sydyn iawn. Mae'n lawiad os rhywbeth, ond oce. Yn araf bach, oedd ni'n si weld ti ar y bryd, ond nes i'n deud i byd. O'n i'n meddwl, mae'n i sydyn, ond oedd wedi law i jyst i warchod i wynaf. Ond mae'n dod wrtho fo, ond am arbediad, na ddeud hynny. Gatho nhw'n y gêm?
Ie, a maen nhw wedi dod nôl mewn i'r gêm erbyn y diwedd. Hefyd, dyna'r olygfa, mae'r awyr dros Canarvon heno. Werth i weld, gwn i weld, os bydd hon, gwerth i gweld, gobeithio. Gêm fyw, gêm gyfeillgar, Cymru erbyn De Corea, nos Iau. Mae honna, a wedyn, ar ôl honna, mae yna gêm fach yn Riga, Cymru, yn Latvia. Dwi 20 mlynedd os nhw'n fod na diwetha. Mae'n teimlo'n bwysig, yn sgwrs am y gêm yma. Welcome, fi'n gwybod, mae'n braf cael gêm gyfeillgar, ddim yn cael llawer yn ddiweddar, ond Latvia. Mae'n teimlo fel gêm, dyngedfennol, o ran y tîm, o ran y reolwr, o ran pawb ar hyn o bryd. Ie, mae rhaid i bobl anghofio, ella gyda ni ddrws cefn i ddod i fewn trwy'r gyngred y genedloedd yma. Mae gyda ni 4 gêm ar ôl. Curo'r 4, a Croatia'n curo'i 4, 5, da ni'n oce. Ond fel arall, os a ddim, sam ffordd, os a ni'n cael gêm gyfartal, da ni'n mynd i wneud ti'n ail. Felly mae rhaid ni ffeindio ffordd. Chi'n gweld ni'n gallu ennill? Dwi'n gweld ni'n curo Latvia. Di Latvia ni'n curo i mi yn gem. Felly dwi'n gweld ni'n curo Latvia. Ond dwi'n gweld rhywbeth gwahanol. Ond dwi nabod o page y dda iawn. Ond dwi'n mynd i fod yn rwystredig fan hyn yn deud. Ond ni'n rwystredig efo'i garfan o. Oherwydd mae di dewis yn y ddau chwaraewyr geith i'm chwarae Latvia. Pam mynd â nhw? Mae dyla fi ddod â 2 chwaraewr arall i fewn. Yr un sydd wedi cael ei o Fulham, Harris, ia? Mae o di mynd i tîm dan ni'n ar ugain. Am gyfa yn mynd De Corea i ddyfoca cyfa i chwarae Gymru, a wrth yn neud y dda i gael y hyder, ti siwr beth gwahanol y stafell newid na, oherwydd faint o ffats mae wedi bod dros misoedd dwytha yma. A nath o ddim wneud be o'n i'n feddwl o dda am, ond mae rhaid fo'n neud beth gwahanol, neu feddwl yna. Mae mor ddifrifol. Chi yn cael y teimlad bod llawer yn mynd o gwmpas y gêm yma, a os yw Cymru ddim yn ennill, gallai fod yn gyfnod pryderus iawn o ran y reolwr.
Does am cwestiwn amdano ni. Ac fydd y ddwy gêm yma, os da ni'n cael perfformiad sâl yn ebyn De Corea, a wedyn da ni'n cael Ciro Latvia, hapus. Dyna fi'n broblem efo De Corea. I fi, dim o ddifri ydi hwnna. Ond mi dyla fo wedi defnyddio'r gêm i arbrofi fo chwaraewyr pobl fel Hedges yn Blackburn hefyd. Diolch di wneud hynny.
Ie, na, gen i weld beth ddaw. Pêl-droed byw i ddod ar sgorio. Wrth gwrs, tîm y dynion, tîm Dani'n ar hugen hefyd, a sylw i gêm y merched fel arfer dros yr un nesaf nawr. Wrth i ni fod draw i gwrdd a merched Caerdydd.
Ar ôl ennill y dwbl tymor diwethaf, mae Caerdydd yn cystadlu yng nghenghrair y pencampwyr am y tro cyntaf ers degawd, ac yn paratoi I wynebu FC Gintra o Lithuania.
Well, we know it's going to be a difficult game. We know they're going to play at high intensity. They're used to winning their league year in, year out. And we know we're going to have to raise our levels to somewhere we haven't been before. And that's why we've had such a difficult pre-season. Is, you know, we are going to suffer at times in the game. They are going to make it very difficult for us. However, we're not the type of team to lie down and just kind of park the bus. We haven't got that in our locker. So we're going to go at them. We're going to give it everything we've got. And, you know, if we go through it and we have a positive result, amazing. You know, if we don't, then it's learning then, and we hope to be in the same position next year, where we'll have more of an understanding of where we need to be and what we need to do. But we're going to give it everything we've got, and hopefully we can come out with a positive result.
Seren Watkins, yn llithro heibio ar amddiffynwr yn argydio! Gol wefreiddiol gan Seren Watkins.
Everyone's buzzing to get going in the Champions League. You know, it's a massive opportunity, and I think they're really looking forward to stepping onto the pitch and hopefully, you know, playing good football. We're expecting them to be quick, you know, physical, but we've planned our pre-season matches around how they play, and hopefully we can outplay them.
The fact that the club are now semi-professional, all the girls have got their contracts. What's that done in terms of the psyche of the players and the morale of the group as well?
You know, the girls have responded really well. It's something that we should have done a long time ago, and we're just really thankful that we got the support from the football club and our sponsors and everybody around the club to put it in and make sure that these girls get where they deserve. Now it's on them to keep their place now and to fight for it year by year and make sure they get that contract every year.
Kick gornel at y postyn gosa, Siobhan Walsh ar peniad!
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time coming. Obviously, it's an exciting time to be at the club, and you know, it's just nice to get some recognition from the club themselves for all the hard work we put in. It's a nice motivator to have, to want to push forward and play for this team, being able to get paid as well to be here.
Ymysg y chwaraewyr newydd I arwyddo dros yr haf mae Molly Kehoe, sydd wedi gadael treuther Ynysoedd Cayman yn y Caribee I ymuno â Chaerdydd.
I have a coach that had just moved to the Cayman Islands, where I'm from. He's actually from Wales, and he basically got me this opportunity, which I'm very grateful for. I've always played a lot of sports growing up, but football has definitely always been my favourite. I always had a dream of playing on the bigger stage from a young age. I went to boarding school for 2 years in Rome, Georgia, in the States, and I played for my national team as well.
Molly came over and she's been a real breath of fresh air, and she's really finding her feet now, and we're just thankful that, you know, she's signed for us. She's a part of our club, because I think she's going to have a really big impact this year.
I know you only arrived here 2 weeks ago, but I want to ask, what were your first impressions when you moved to Wales?
Definitely colder. I had to get used to that, but everything, it's nice here. It's really nice. The people are nice, food is good, everything is overall pretty good.
I know you guys have had a pretty intense pre-season, 8 friendlies in total, I'm right in saying, so how are the legs, Siobhan? Are they all right?
We're just about holding on. No, it's what we needed, you know, we needed to prepare correctly, and it's been hard, but we're over it now, and we're all just ready to go.
Really good, you know, the vibe in training is always really high. Everyone's enjoying their football, and yeah, you can see it by some of the results we've been getting in pre-season.
We've fought hard to be in this position. Whoever wins the league the previous year, other teams will try and catch them up, other teams will try and kind of emulate what they've done, and we just want to raise the standard across Wales. So our aim is to keep setting them standards, keep pushing, driving women and girls football across Wales, and that's what we'll aim to do, and yeah, hopefully this time next year we're in a similar position having the same conversation.
Pob lwc I ferched Caerdydd am yr tymor yn dechrau. Cyn bo hir. A byddwn ni yno, gêm gyntaf Wrexham yn y brif adran. Maen nhw'n cwrdd ac Abertawe. Digon o gyffro. Edrych mlaen yn fawr at honna yn fyw o'r S4C. Edrych mlaen sy'r ail hanner. Fan hyn, os ffordd yn ôl I Caernarfon wrth I ni fynd ôl at ein tîm sylwebu. Malcolm Allen, am ei Emrys.
Welcome back to the Oval for the second half. One change made by Richard Davies, and it's Dion Donahue, the experienced Donahue, who comes on and replaces Ben Wynne. So Ben Wynne off, Dion Donahue on, and Wayne, we expected changes, and Richard Davies had to make it.
Yeah, you called it, Bryn. I said I may have waited a little bit longer, but the quality of Donahue onto the pitch, an early half chance for Caernarvon. He brings a lot of experience down our left-hand side. Something will have disappointed Richard in that first half. The amount of times Connah's Quay were getting in certain areas. So, you know, to have a player of Donahue's quality on the bench, then why not bring him on at an early stage? You know, he's a leader, and he may be the difference to get Caernarvon back in the game.
It's Declan Poole's goal after 10 minutes that separates the sides. Caernarfon were building their way back into it at the end of the first half. Wayne, can they carry that on in the second half?
Well, you'd like to think so, Bryn. The confidence they will have gained from that 5 or 6 minutes at the end of the first 45. But good tackle. They're going to have to keep the back door shut. They cannot afford to go 2 goals behind. If Caernarvon are the team to go on and get the next goal of the game, wow, we might have a game on our hands.
Ryan Austin just helped himself out of trouble there. It was a little slip, but then redeemed for his header. This is Noah Edwards. Edwards really relishing being back at the Oval. 5 seasons he was here with Caernarfon Town and Sean Eardley and Hugh Griffiths, and now, of course, Richard Davies.
There he is, the man who's come on for Caernarfon. I'd like to see him in an advanced role because he's got quality in areas where Caernarfon may have been lacking that in the first half. So if they can get him pushing forward up that left-hand side rather than defending, then Caernarfon may have a chance of creating 1 or 2 chances in the second half.
Caernarfon appear to have gone to 4 at the back here, Wayne, with Donahue on the left. Phil Mooney's come over to the right. And now Sean Bradley, Louis Lloyd's in the middle, as is Zack Clarke. Bradley's got Danny Gossett with him. Gossett whips the ball in, looking for Louis Lloyd, and it's cleared away only as far as Marc Williams. Oh, what an effort. Just over the bar from Marc Williams.
It all starts with Dion Donahue down our left-hand side. He picks up the ball in his own half. He plays a brilliant ball down to Sean Bradley down the left-hand side. The ball ends up with Marc Williams, and what an effort on goal. Just unfortunate for Marc Williams. The ball was rising the whole time, but a brilliant start to the second half by Caernarfon, and well played Dion Donahue.
Phil Mooney has come to right back, by the way, so Cartwright and Austin, the centre-back partnership. So Caernarfon 4 at the back, so they appear to have gone 4-3-3 possibly here, Wayne, as Connah's Quay press. And the second half has started odd, exactly as the first half finished. And Louis Lloyd again. Louis Lloyd, the target possibly for Zack Clarke. Indeed he is, as Clarke finds Lloyd just under pressure from Harrington. Lloyd turns one way under pressure from Harrington and wins the corner kick off Callum Bradley. We've seen more in the opening 3 minutes from Caernarfon than we did in the entire first half.
Well, you asked a question, because could they take on what they did at the end of the first half? At the beginning of the second half, they certainly have. They've started on the front foot. Connah's Quay are rattled in these early stages, but when you're on top, you have to score. And Caernarfon will be hoping that an early goal comes at the beginning of the second half. And if that happens, Bryn, then it could be a different game we see in the next 45, as I predicted.
We're into the 4th minute of the second half. It's Sean Bradley with the corner kick. It was Ryan Austin at the near post, a 6'5" Ryan Austin, and he used every inch of that to get his header away.
Yeah, difficult one for him. He's being marked quite closely by John Disney, and you know, difficult header to get on target, but we can hear the crowd. He's got the crowd lifted. That one effort for Marc Williams within 2 or 3 minutes of the second half has lifted the place, and the Caernarfon Cofis army will try and play their part in getting Caernarfon back in the game.
Disney with the clearance comfortable for Iwan Cartwright, and everything that was falling for Connah's Quay in the first half appears to be falling for Canarvon in the second. Webb just put his team under pressure there. Jordan Davies, and there's no Edwards dancing his way, falls here for Harry Franklin. Too many defenders there, and it's Danny Gossett who just takes control of the situation, clears a long ball upfield looking for Darren Thomas with a header forward. And the opening 5 minutes of this second half, Wayne, if it carries on like this, we're going to have a real game in front of us.
Canarvon nearly getting caught out by playing a silly pass in the back third, Bryn. You know, what they've got to do is keep getting the ball forward, keep playing in Connah's Quay's half. Brilliant tackle. Solid on his ex-teammate. The smile off Noah. And committed. You know, yes, the ball went out of play, but it's a good start from the substitute who's come on for Caernarfon.
They've had the right rollicking at half-time, haven't they?
I think, and you know, having somebody as influential as Dean Donahue coming onto the field can lift players around you, Bryn. And that seems to have been the case. They've started on the front foot. They've had an opportunity early on, and that will have given them a lot of confidence. They'll firmly believe now there's something here for them this evening. If you'd have asked them that after 20-25 minutes when they were getting pushed back and penned back and couldn't get out, they'd have had a different outcome.
Poor touch by Mooney, sent it Franklin, he was brought down by Ryan Austin, and Mr. Owen reaches into his pocket, and it's the second yellow card for Caernarfon. Ryan Austin joining Darren Thomas in the referee's little black book.
I don't think there was a lot in it, hardly anything in fact.
It's harsh.
Yes, harsh is a word. Yes. You know, too often we see a lot of tackles being punished with yellow cards when it doesn't warrant a yellow card. It warrants a free kick against him. But does he deserve a yellow card for that? Absolutely, 100% no.
He just had to be on his guard now for the remainder of the game as John Disney.
I'd never complete a game now, Bryn, if I was playing these days. I'd be lucky to see the first 25 minutes.
So Disney and Poole. Caernarfon just try to hold the defensive line on the 18-yard box, lofted in, cleared away, only as far as Callum Brackley. Poole, Davis, Kenny, Edwards, Nash in the box, waiting for the cross from Disney. It's a deep one in the direction of Ben Nash. And it comes off at Phil Mooney, and it goes out for a corner kick. First corner kick of the second half goes to the visitors.
Good defending. Phil Mooney, he couldn't do much else. But he had to make sure he got something on the ball, because it was a deep cross from the left-hand side from John Disney, and sometimes just winning any defensive battle is good. Now they have to defend a corner, Caernarfon, because the last thing they want after the good 6 or 7 minutes they've had at the start of the second half is conceding that second goal.
So it's the captain John Disney and Declan Poole together. Poole with the corner, the cross in rather cleared away by Austin. Danny Gossett under pressure from Poole. Cleared away by Iwan Cartwright. Franklin back to Disney. Poole. Disney 2 in the box. Jack Kenny loitering on the edge of the 6-yard area. Disney. Jordan Davies, lovely layoff for Noah Edwards, and Connah's Quay just building their way back into the game, having been under pressure in the initial stages of the second half. Callum Brackley, he's got Noah Edwards with him. Brackley just goes down a cul-de-sac. So Sean Bradley, nice to stop Callum Brackley. Here they are again, Brackley and Bradley. Brackley turns one way and turns the other, and they took a deflection off Marc Williams. Second corner kick.
Lovely play by Callum Brackley, a player who I think has played particularly well this evening. A player I see play particularly well every time I watch him play. And again, Connah's Quay just finding their way back, finding their feet again in the second half, similar to what we saw in the first half. You know, 6-7 minutes of possibly even play. Caernarfon have been the better team at the beginning of the second half, but you just feel Connah's Quay are getting to grips with him again.
Caernarfon unbeaten in the opening 4 games of the season. Connah's Quay having lost both away games. Poole whips the one into the far post, takes a deflection, hits the bar, and it's in the back of the net, and it's Jack Kenny. Jack Kenny with a goal, the former Canarvon forward. We've played almost 10 minutes of the second half. Jack Kenny in the right place at the right time. Caernarfon 0, Quay 2.
Well, the last thing Caernarfon wanted after that good 5 or 6 minutes they had, Bryn, was conceding that next goal of the game. They can count themselves a little bit unfortunate. It was Ben Nash, if I'm right, at the back stick. His header bouncing above everybody else, off the crossbar. Jack Kenny in the right place, as you said, at the right time. And it looked to be over the line. The linesman didn't hesitate. He put a flag up. The referee points back to the halfway line. And Quay have got the second goal that they much needed. Neil Gibson will be feeling a little bit more comfortable now than he was in the first 5 or 6 minutes. And that may have knocked the stuffing out of Caernarfon.
Yeah, that ball clearly crossed the line. And the assistant referee on the far side, Richard Dolphin, fair play, was up with play, and he immediately sprinted away towards the halfway line, indicating that the ball had crossed the line. So Jack Kenny scores his first goal of the season. He scored for 6 different clubs in the Welsh Premier League, Jack Kenny.
Can you name them all? That's a question you should be asking me. I could go close, I'm sure, but we'll leave that for another time.
Well, it's a tall order now for Caernarfon. Donahue to Phil Mooney. Mooney looking for the run of Louis Lloyd. Lloyd first along just to get to it, ball in, well defended and cleared away to Harrington. Stop here. Oh, there's a fan on the pitch. Something's happened behind the goal. That's why they've stopped the game. Something's happened here in the crowd behind the goal. So there'll be a break of play here. Well, we thought initially that there was a protester or something on the pitch, but there's been an incident in the crowd behind the goal, and that's why the fan ran on the pitch. So there's a break in play here, which is never nice to see, Wayne.
No, not what you want to see at any football game, and we've seen quite a bit of it, Bryn, over the last possibly 12, 18 months, and let's hope whoever or whatever's happened, that everybody comes out of it okay, because it can be quite distressing for supporters, players and everybody concerned. But there is a big concern behind that goal tower right on side.
Well, the referee very, very sensibly has just called the players together, and as it happens, Wayne, it was Tom Owen who was the referee in charge of the game last season between Flint and Caernarfon, where we had the unsavoury scenes and the incidents there, and called the players off then as well.
Yeah, this could be a little bit different. The crowd just working their way back, Bryn, to give the medical team, every chance they've got of helping somebody who is, in danger behind that goal. No, big concern in the Oval.
Well, we understand that one of the supporters has suffered a fit behind the goal away to our right. So that's why we have the break in play here. So just bear with us if you can, and we'll be back with you as soon as the game gets underway. Well, in the meantime, Wayne, we'll just have a look at the goals again. This is the goal from Declan Poole that put Quay ahead. And it was well taken.
Very well taken by Declan Poole. But, you know, Canarvon will ask questions why people weren't marking, why they didn't win the first header, why they didn't compete for the first header. But all credit to Declan Poole, you know, in the right place for the first goal of the evening. And he slotted it to the one place where he needed it to do and finished it very well to give the Caernarfon keeper no chance.
And it was Jack Kenny who will claim the assist because he got the final touch. Don't know how much he knew about it. He'll take it though.
Proven to be a good night for Jack Kenny then, if he's got an assist and a goal, because Ben Nash unlucky, the ball coming back off the crossbar. And you'd have to say, again, a simple really header for Jack Kenny, no more than 2 or 3 yards out. Yes, you know, it does cross the line. We can see it goes into that stanchion in the left-hand side of the goal. He's away celebrating, and I'm sure he had a happy manager just down below us.
And I'm not too sure how much he knew about that, because the ball almost just bounced off the bar and just hit him as he was running in.
Yes, and sometimes it's being alert. You know, the best strikers in the world, Bryn, you could name hundreds of them. You know, they score so many goals because they're alert. They're waiting for that ball. And all credit to Jack Kenny, like, you know, it happens so quickly. The ball's off the crossbar and he's there. But that's a striker for you. They think different to maybe defenders sometimes inside the penalty area. And he's finished it very well. Which gives Connah's Quay a nice little cushion now. 2 goals up, away from home. Could this be their first away victory of the season?
But is this a chance as well, which is a horrible thing to say, Wayne, for maybe Caernarfon just to regroup, for Richard Davies just to get a few messages out, and the lull could affect possibly Connah's Quay more than Caernarfon?
Well, as it happens, the second goal of the game came after Caernarfon's best spell in the minutes we'd seen, because they started the second half very well. They had that really long-range effort from Marc Williams, which went agonisingly over the crossbar. And then, you know, you could just sense that Connah's Quay were getting to grips with the second half and then the goal. So it's a nice little cushion to have. The game's never won at 2-0, but I'd much rather be 2-0 in front than 2-0 behind.
So Neil Gibson, you can see there having a word with Noah Edwards and with Jordan Davies. What's the message from Neil Gibson, calling his players together now? What's the message here?
Well, he'll ask them to. He'll keep demanding more off his players, and that's why he's a successful manager. And he will not allow his players to settle for 2. He will want them to go on and get a third if possible, because if they do that, then it can be a comfortable last 20-25 minutes of the game. If Caernarfon get the next goal, then it becomes a nervy 20-25 minutes for Connah's Quay. So this game is far from over for Caernarfon. They're 2-0 behind. They've got a mountain to climb, but they're still in the game, even though they've been 2-0 behind.
And if you just joined us, we've got a break in play here at the Oval. A member of the crowd behind the goal away to our right, we understand, has suffered a fit. There's a medical incident here, so play has been held up. We've been held up now for about 5 minutes, and of course Mr. Tom Owen, the referee, he'll take as much time as is needed here. The health and welfare of the individual is more important than anything.
Absolutely, 100%, Bryn. Yes, yeah. You know, football can wait, and you know, nobody within the ground will mind the wait, as long as the person behind the goal comes out okay.
Just a couple of games coming up with us on Scoria Thursday night. It's the friendly at the Cardiff City Stadium against South Korea, and then on Monday evening we're away at the Skonto Stadium in Riga, the capital city of Latvia. What is a key game for Wales away at Latvia, and is a key game for Rob Page. We understand that it could be quite a hold up here at the Oval. And, well, we've been in situations like this before, and well, as long as it takes. Tom Owen, he'll be the centre of attention. He'll obviously have to make the decisions. Well, there should be a point somewhere, Wayne, where he just calls everybody and takes them off. Temperatures are dropping here, you know, they'll need to stay warm and what have you.
Looks like they're moving the person who was involved, which is good news. A round of applause. The medical team walking away, so that's a good sign, Bryn. So we could see the game resuming fairly shortly. But the concern is still with the person who's been taken away.
Well, excellent news. We had a medical emergency in the crowd. Praise for the medical staff. So that took 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
A good 5, 10. I'd say closer to 10, Bryn.
Yeah, closer to
yes,
10.
Yes, yeah.
So we should have, well, that plus maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes as well.
Yeah.
So we could be looking at an added quarter of an hour at the end of the regulation 90. So it's Connah's Quay leading by 2-0. It was 10.5 minutes, Wayne. 10.5 minutes.
Good guess. Yeah.
Well, I said 5, you said 10.
Yeah, the best thing to come out of it, Bryn, is hopefully that the person who was in danger is well. The game carrying on so quickly after is a good sign. And all credit to the medical team from Connah's Quay and Caernarfon Town who rushed across to support.
Jordan Davies. He's got no Edwards outside him. Just forced out wide a little bit there. The pass from Jordan Davies. And possibly an opportunity just gone there. 3-0 to the New Saints against Aberystwyth. And it was Adrian Sizlovic who just goes clear at the top of the top scorers table. He's got 4. As Ryan Harrington looks for Connah's Quay's third. Oh, lovely cross and a header by Jordan Davies. Well, he could have joined Sizlovic at the top of the table with that header, but it flashes wide of the post.
Good play down the left-hand side again by Harrington. And not for the first time this evening, Bryn, we've seen him deliver into the penalty area. Jordan, not the biggest of lads. I don't know what, basically mistimed his jump, and there's a little smile off the little lad, but he'll be disappointed that he's not hit the target from what was a good position for Connah's Quay. But hopefully the players can get back into full swing. You know, I don't think the disruption will have caused too much of a problem to them. 10.5 minutes. You know, they'll quickly get back into the full tempo of the game they were playing, and let's hope it's an enjoyable end to the game.
Franklin just been urged to keep going, you heard Neil Gibson as the keeper brings Davies down. Always, all day long a penalty. Lewis Webb, rash challenge, and it's a penalty to Connah's Quay.
It is a rash challenge by the Caernarfon Town goalkeeper. A perfect weighted pass off Franklin into the path of Jordan Davies. Davies knows exactly that the keeper's coming. He gets that touch. He knows he's going to go down. And yet again, a simple decision for the referee, Tom Owen. Caernarfon are in trouble if this penalty goes in. I said they had a mountain to climb. It's Ben Nevis if this goes in, Bryn, because you don't feel there's any way back for them should Connah's Quay go and get a third goal of the evening.
And it's an opportunity for Jordan Davies to join Adrian Sizlovic at the top of the top scorers table. Sizlovic has scored from the spot for the New Saints. Can Jordan Davies do the same for Connah's Quay? Jordan Davies against Lewis Webb. Davies just bides his time, starts his run, Davies! No chance at all for the keeper. He went the right way, but there was far too much on it from Jordan Davies. Canarvon 0, Connors Quay 3.
A brilliant taken penalty from Jordan Davies. Bryn, power and pace. Yes, the keeper, Lewis Webb, goes the right way, but the power has taken it past him into the side netting of the net. And I spoke about it being a comfortable end to the game for Connors Quay. I think it certainly will be now.
Well, he buried that one, did Jordan Davies, with the confidence of a forward who's on form. 4th goal of the season for Jordan Davies, 3rd of the night for Connors Quay, and it's just gone oh so much more comfortable.
Certainly has. You know, we spoke about during the incident we had with the supporter about, you know, that next goal, and should Caernarfon get it, it would be a nervy end to the game for Connors Quay. Now they can relax. They can relax. The game should be done and dusted. We have seen comebacks in the past. I think in this may be too much for Caernarfon. Donahue arguing with Jordan Davies, but Caernarfon cannot afford to lose their heads now because they've gone 3-0 down. You know, they've got a game next week and they need players available. The last thing they want is to go down to 10 men.
Well, Dean Donahue just having said something to the referee there, and he becomes the 3rd player into the referee's book from Caernarfon. Ryan Austin, Darren Thomas as well. Ball out to the far side looking for Darren Thomas. Thomas just plays an early ball into the box, cleared away by Ryan Harrington. Caernarfon throw in.
Interesting to see how Caernarfon, this is their toughest position they've been in this season. You know, they've not been 3 goals behind in any game. Edwards. They will not want to lose 4 and 5.
Well, there's every opportunity that's going to happen here. Franklin, he's got Jordan Davies on. Franklin goes for the near post, and look at Jordan Davies. He just can't believe he didn't get the pass.
I'm not too sure if it is an effort on goal. I think he's trying to cross it to the middle with the outside of his boots, or he's trying to be cheeky. I don't know. I'm a bit torn between, because he has a look up here now. You'll see him lifting his head up to have a look. Does he try and catch the goalkeeper out? Does he try and be cute? If he does, all credit to him, because it nearly came off.
Well, Jordan Davies was screaming for the square ball and a tap in, which it certainly would have been. As it is, it's a corner kick, and it's Declan Poole who's the opener in the first 10 minutes. Set Connors Quay on their way. Good corner, near post, headed away by Marc Williams and then by Sean Bradley, only as far as Callum Brackley. Harrington to Brackley. He must be in the running for man of the match. Callum Brackley, square ball to Franklin, easily cleared away by Sean Bradley, only as far as Disney. Space here for Edwards. Just Disney.
It'll be a lot of this now for the remainder of the game, Bryn. Possession based, keep the ball. Good players will do that, as the likes of John Disney. There's a lot of experience in the Connors Quay team. This will hurt Caernarfon because, you know, not being able to get the ball back.
Poole with the ball. Caernarfon have been given a harsh footballing lesson here this evening by Connors Quay, who had lost both away games at the start of the season here. Must be said, against the New Saints and against Bala, but they've shown their mettle tonight.
They certainly have. You know, you just felt it was a tough test for Caernarfon. You know, and I don't think anybody was getting carried away with the start Caernarfon have made. It's a good position they're in, and you know, I spoke about if they could have kept above Connors Quay at the end of the night, they'd have been delighted. But you know, it was a big 90 minutes ahead for them, and it's proved a difficult evening as well. You know, we were only 73 minutes on the clock, a lot of injury time to be added on at the end. It could be a big test in the next 20 minutes, because Connors Quay are going to press for the 4th, because the way Neil Gibson manages his teams. They will not give up, they'll keep going. They've got good substitutions on the bench, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see 1 or 2 more goals here this evening.
Connors Quay are jumping up to 2nd position. They're replacing Caernarfon in 2nd as things stand. They will go up to 9 points. The New Saints, they'll be on 13. They're leading by 3-0 as well at home against Aberystwyth. Richard Davies, well, he'll hope that they won't concede anymore and maybe just grab a consolation. Franklin once again, it's a yellow card for Danny Gossett, and Caernarfon players just losing their heads here at the moment, Wayne.
Yeah, they can't afford to, Bryn. That's the one thing that'll disappoint the managers. Not only being 3-0 down, but it's important that he keeps his players on the team. And a late challenge, after the ball's played, again, you've got to say the referees refereed the game well, but the decisions he's had to make have been easy ones.
Yeah, fair dues to Mr. Tom Owen. He's had a good game. He's made the decisions, the key decisions, and he managed that break in play because of the medical emergency really, really, really well. If you're just joining us, we had a 10-minute break about 10 minutes or so ago after a medical incident in the crowd behind the goal away to our right over there. So there will be at least 10 minutes of time added at the end of the match. Now there are more goals for the visitors, who certainly have deserved the 3-0 lead, it must be said.
Yeah, over the minutes that we've seen, Bryn, I totally agree with you. That dominance in the first half did deserve, more goals than what we saw. But what?
Franklin, ball falls again for Noah Edwards. There's no celebration from Noah Edwards. He's come back to the Oval and he's put his side further ahead. Defensive calamity once again by Caernarfon. Caernarfon 0, Quay 4.
Caernarfon at 6s and 7s at the back, and again a simple chance, you have to say, for somebody of the quality of Noah Edwards. Again, tackles coming in, the ball just finding its way to Edwards' right foot, and again the only place he could put it was that far corner. He wasn't going to miss his best chance of the evening, and Quay's fourth. So we thought there'd be more goals, Bryn, and the fourth one has just come for Neil Gibson's men.
Well, we understand there's going to be 2 changes for Caernarfon. So it's Adam Davies who's coming on for Zack Clarke. And Ben Ma for Sean Bradley. So Bradley off, and Ben Ma comes on. And also departing Zack Clarke with Adam Davies coming on.
Yes, changes were bound to happen, as the goals were going in, and anybody could have been coming off for Caernarfon. It's not to say that the lads who have left the field of play have been any worse than the players who have been left on, but Richard Davies had to make changes because these teams are at 6s and 7s at the moment. They've lost all shape, they've lost a little bit of discipline as well. And Quay, I keep going back to the point I keep making, they will not give up. And as we see, they make a change. Michael Wilde on, Harry Franklin is the one who left.
Well, you're 4-0 up, you take Harry Franklin off, and you bring on a player who's won 19 trophies in his career. He was 40 last Sunday. There are more goals in this one.
And a player who wants to score. Even at 40, what did you say, 40, 41? 41 years of age, he wants goals. So I wouldn't be surprised before the end of the game if Mike Wilde gets a chance or two. And it's proven to be an excellent evening for Quay.
And will Caernarfon finish with 11 players on the field? That's another question, Wayne.
That is a big question. They have to keep disciplined, keep their heads, because you learn from defeats as much as you do from winning games. And we can see what Caernarfon have really made of this evening now when the going has got really tough. How many want to dig in for the manager and go and get a goal back to get themselves something out of the night and something positive, because at the moment it's all far too easy for Quay.
And it's all far too easy for TNS. Anything that Quay can do, TNS can do. And Jay Caernarfon with his second, and the New Saints fourth. It's the New Saints 4, Aberystwyth 0. Aberystwyth still looking for their first goal of the season. And the Saints just marching on at the top of the Welsh Premier League.
It's going to be a long old season for Aberystwyth. You can see even at this early stages, a tough season last season. Taff would have known what was to come again this season. Not sure of the recruitment they've made there, but you can see from the early stages, it's not going to be easy for them.
Well, Declan Poole got us underway after 10 minutes with the opening goal. Jack Kenny on 54. It was Jordan Davies from the spot on 69. And then 6 minutes later, it was Noah Edwards with the fourth against his former employers, as Marc Williams just tries to build from midfield. And Marc Williams not really been in the match all that much, has he? Wayne?
One real good effort on goal, but he's coming up against a very good Quay side. They've shown their class here this evening. Quay defending at the moment.
That one runs out for a goal kick. There's a double substitution for Quay. And we understand that Noah Edwards and Jack Kenny, two former Canarvon players, will depart.
Changes.
Who's coming on yet?
The luxury of making changes when you're 4-0 up is nice. But we spoke about, I think MC spoke before the game with Malcolm about Friday night under the lights. A good night. They're only good nights if you win. And I'm sure it'll be an enjoyable night for Neil Gibson, who I believe is making the journey down to Barry for tomorrow's game. That's how much detail he puts into games, Bryn. To be successful, you have to put the work in. And, being the top manager he is, doesn't surprise me to hear what he's going to be doing tomorrow.
Brackley. Edwards to John Disney trying to thread the ball through to Mike Wild all just went through Phil Mooney there. And now it's the opportunity possibly for Quay to bring the substitutes on. So it's Ryan Strachulis who's going to replace Noah Edwards. So Ryan Strachulis and Jack Kenny also departing, and it's Aaron Williams who's coming on for scorer of the second goal, Jack Kenny.
Yeah, Strachulis, very good player. In the games I've seen him last season, another young, talented player. Find it difficult to get him to start. Half a chance into the box. Ben Nash defends well again. He's very good at that, Ben Nash. If there's a defender that you want in your team, he is one of them. An able replacement for somebody we haven't mentioned tonight, George Horan, who has called it today with Quay. But Ben Nash is a cracking young lad and a really good defender. Nash's header.
Cleared away, and it was cleared away by Strachulis. It was Josh Williams who's come on, by the way, for Jack Kenny, not Aaron Williams. Got my Williamses mixed up. We're into the last 10 minutes on the clock, but because of the medical emergency, there'll be at least 10 minutes added on at the end of the game. Wouldn't be surprised if it was 15.
10 minutes that Canarvon will not be happy with. When you're 4-0 down, the last thing you want is to see big numbers being put up injury time. But there's one of the subs, Strachulis, a youngster who's learned his trade at Tranmere Rovers, and benefiting from knowing Neil Gibson, who's done some work at Tranmere Rovers himself, and he'll reward the benefits of that by playing for Quay. And he's in a good position, Neil Gibson. He's got the luxury of a big squad, and a big squad who's got a lot of quality players in.
Well, another substitution indicated here, and it's Declan Poole. Now they've made 4 substitutes, and have they done that in 3? I think they have, haven't they? Can they use another substitute? It's 5 substitutes, but in 3
different. Yes.
So Strachulis and Williams came on together. Mike Wild came on by himself,
and they've just done 2. Mike Wild, yes.
Mike Wild. Josh Williams. Let's see. Oh yes, they are allowed. Yeah, they are allowed another one.
I think the question's being asked down the bottom as well.
Yeah.
But they might try and keep Declan on. Is it? Declan is down. Yes.
It's Declan Poole who's down, yeah. Declan Poole, yeah. So they've made 3 changes. So Edwards, Franklin and Kenny have gone off. But Franklin went off, and then Kenny and Edwards went off at the same time. So yeah, they can do another 2,
yes, yeah,
but in one go. You were talking about George Horan there, by the way, wonderful servant for Connors Quay. But we understand today as well that Rob Hughes has left Canarvon.
Yeah, Rob Hughes is a good footballer and a talented player, and I just wonder where his next move is going to be, because whenever I saw him play at Canarvon, he was the opposition's nightmare, really, because he caused that many problems to them on the field, and he did it well. So, you know, he'd be a loss for Canarvon because he's a good player. But Rich Davies is the man who managed him, and obviously it hasn't worked out this season, and Rob has decided that he's going to be playing his football elsewhere. So look forward to seeing wherever he may be.
Into the last 5, official minutes, but expect the number 15 possibly to be shown on the 4th official's electronic scoreboard. Canarvon, well, look for a consolation goal. Can't be anything more than that, surely.
Past your bedtime it'll be, Bryn, by the time it finishes.
Already is, wait. Usually tucked up by now. Donahue.
I won't mention Barrow next week then.
No,
last week,
no. Our ball in, it was almost an opportunity for Louis Lloyd, and it's Strachulis and Josh Williams who combined to just clear the ball away.
Great ball into the penalty area. You know, it's a centre forward's dream, really. You know, Donahue, left foot wrapped around the ball into a perfect area. You just feel, had he gambled a little bit more, had he reacted quicker, a yard quicker, then he'd have been getting in front of the defender. But good defending as well.
It was very good defending by Ryan Harrington. Richard Davies, he'll be bitterly disappointed by this performance. I should think, Wayne, more possibly than with the result.
I think he certainly will. Any manager who loses a football game, Bryn, you know, is disappointed. But he'll analyse it over the next few days, and I don't think he'll be too critical of his team because of the opposition they've come up against this evening. A team who have performed to their max, you'd have to say, Connors Quay. It's been a couple of spells of Canarvon where they threatened at the beginning of the second half. Other than that, they haven't really been in the game.
Well, Connors Quay they lost 6-2 at the New Saints in the opening match of the season, and they played like this. They were really good. If you consider that for a team who's lost 6-2, one of the best teams I've ever seen losing 6-2, and they're getting their just rewards here tonight for playing an open, attacking, bold brand of football.
Yeah, you mentioned the game they lost 6-2. That was against the best team in the league, the only full-time team in the league. The team will probably go on and win the league. Gibson might disagree with me because I said at the beginning of the commentary this evening, I feel Connors Quay will be the team who are closest to the New Saints at the end of the season. And if you finish above the New Saints, you are winning the league. So, you know, it puts Connors Quay in a good position. But it's something that I would have expected of them after this early stage.
Richard Davies in the pre-match interview said that he had toyed with the idea of changing things, of freshening things up. He started with the same 11 that finished against Bala on Tuesday night. I'm sure he's regretting that now.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing. I think there's many things in life we all regret after the event, but he can't change that. You know, I can see the reasons why he kept faith with the team who performed ever so well. You were here Tuesday night, Bryn. I'm sure you'd have agreed with his decision to have gone out with the same starting 11. It's just not happened for them this evening, and you get games like that. But let's remember what they're up against. They're up against a very good side.
Well, they've had a harsh lesson certainly this evening as Cartwright just clears the ball away. We understand that it's going to be 14 minutes of added time. Well, 10 and a half of those were for a medical stop. With a stop in the second half for a medical emergency in the crowd. It was 2-0 at the time to Connors Quay in the break. Well, you thought could have worked for Caernarfon, but unfortunately went totally the other way. And Connah's Quay capitalised with 2 further goals.
Yeah, and they'll try and get a chance or 2 before the end. You know, Mike Wilde has come on.
Davies for the ball.
We haven't seen a lot of Wildy yet. Connah's Quay haven't been able to get the balls into that penalty area for him. But like I say, there's a lot of time left.
Do you want to give the breaking news, Rob Hughes?
I've been informed by somebody who is listening this evening that
Good evening.
Flint Mountain is his next club. So Flint Mountain are benefiting from you know, the signing of a very good player.
Yeah.
And as we do with all players, Bryn, we wish them all the best.
Mike Hayes, of course, former Connah's Quay player, former Bala Town player, playing for Flint Mountain at the moment. So 14 added minutes. 10 because of the medical emergency. And then 4 for... Well, it's a bit kind, actually, because we've had numerous substitutions, we've had injuries. So I'm surprised it's as low as 14.
Yeah. You must be enjoying yourself next to me, Bryn, and wanted to be a little bit more.
Always do, you know that. Donahue.
The feeling's mutual.
Oh. Adam Davies to Ben Maher. Clear, of course, that Neil Gibson knows so well Ben Maher.
Late tackle.
Challenge. Danny Gossett. It's 5-0. Rory Holden with the 5th for the New Saints, and Danny Gossett is a very, very lucky boy.
Very lucky. I think John Davies, if he makes more... Oh, it's more of a yellow card on his first one. He's left his studs showing. He's very lucky, and he should be thankful to John Davies because he hadn't made a meal of it.
Yeah, Danny Gossett's very, very lucky.
Studs showing, Bryn, you're in danger. You know, if you lead, and I don't think he's that type of player, Danny.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, he's a good lad, a good player. Again, a little bit of frustration, a little bit of tiredness as well creeping in, because when you're having to defend a lot and you're not seeing a lot of the ball, the game becomes mentally hard. And, you know, just be careful for the next 10, 12 minutes that he doesn't dangle his foot again.
Davies loses out. Strachulis, Callum Bratley to Ryan Harrington, and you guessing here, Neil Gibson just underneath us, just applauding the effort of the Connah's Quay players, and he'll want them to go on until, well, the 104th minute, because that's where we're heading. We're into 14 minutes of added time here at the Oval. Ian Donahue to Darren Thomas. Strachulis, Ben Nash, Josh Williams. I should think, Wayne, that the Canarvon players, they'll just want that final whistle.
Well, they've got a way to go yet, Bryn. You know, they're 12 minutes of suffering, because that's what they're doing out there at the moment. And, you know, they've just got to get to that final whistle without doing anything silly. You know, see the game out, see if they can finish strong and take something positive out of the last minutes that are remaining. That's what they did at the end of the first half. It was a disappointing first half for all Caernarvon, but they finished very well for the 5-6 minutes before half time. Started the second half well, and then once that second goal went in, you always felt then, Bryn, there wasn't going to be a way back for this Caernarvon side.
Well, Caernarfon's next matches, 2 matches are away against Aberystwyth and Penabont, before 2 home games against Pontypridd and then the New Saints. So 2 away, 2 at home, whereas Connah's Quay, their next match is away at Barry Town next weekend, and then they're home against Cardiff Met, away against Haverfordwest, and then home against Colwyn Bay. So you would think, Wayne, that Connah's Quay, with those fixtures, dare I say, you know, are looking for a good run here.
Yeah, they are, and but it's what you'd expect them to be. You know, I think I wouldn't have thought any different of Connah's being challenging the New Saints with the players that Neil Gibson has available. And I think Malcolm said in the build-up to the game, you'll have a true reflection of the league table in the next 5-6 games. I think Canarvon have got 5 games in September, and then you're looking at 10 games into the season, and then you start to see where teams are going to be. You know, do we look into it too soon, too quickly? You know, yes, it was a good start, but now we'll see what they're made of in the next 3 or 4 games.
It's going to be a long season for Aberystwyth Town. It's finished at Park Hall. The New Saints 6, Aberystwyth 0. It was Ryan Astles with the 6th goal for the New Saints, as Marc Williams deemed just to have jumped in with the studs there. So it's as if normal service has resumed, with the New Saints winning 6-0, Connah's Quay winning 4-0 here. So some things don't change.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Even at this early stage of the season, we can see how the season may pan out again. You know, with the likes of New Saints leading the way, to be followed by the likes of Connah's Quay, Ballatown, and then, you know, a couple of the South Wales teams will be in the mix with them 2 teams as well.
Mooney with the ball, and offside Louis Lloyd. And that's a shame. Doesn't even look as if there's going to be a consolation goal at all for Canarvon, is it?
They haven't come close, really, Bryn, have they? You know, the long-range efforts, a couple in the first half, Marc Williams is in the second half. They haven't really been able to carve out an opening, and I think it's been a comfortable evening at the back for Ben Nash, Kai Edwards. There was times in the first half when they could have tested Kai a little bit more. Kai using all of his experience, winning good tackles when maybe the balls should have been in behind him, but everything has been in front most of the time. And easy for defenders. You know, anything behind is difficult. The last thing you want as a defender is running back towards your own goal, and that's not happened to the Connah's Quay defence. You know, it's been comfortable, it's been easy, and it's been a deserved victory for them here at the Oval.
I'm just thinking, Wayne, has John Rushton had to make a save at all? Certainly the second half he hasn't. I'm just thinking, did he in the first half?
It's a long time ago, that first half now, Bryn. A man who's 51 years of age trying to remember the first half is quite difficult.
Aaron Williams, what a run. And his cross just veers away off Iwan Cartwright for was it a throw-in? I think it was indicated on the far side. I think it was by Martin Roberts. I think that was
there'll be no rush at all to take the throw-in. You know, they're just running the clock down. A lot of the crowd.
814.
A lot of them have disappeared.
Yeah.
And you know, making for the exits now to try and get a pint or 2 in before that last orders is called. But disappointed, I'm sure, in what they've seen after what's been a really good few weeks here at the Oval. You know, back to the drawing board and you go again, and that's what happens after a defeat. You know, you take defeats like wins. You know, you get back on the training ground and you look to the next game. You analyse what they could have done better this evening. What could have Canarvon have done better? I'm not too sure how they could have gone about it any more than what they have. And I think the class is shown by Connah's Quay over the 100 and odd minutes we're going to see.
Well, they opened the scoring after 10 minutes. It was Declan Poole with the opener, then Jack Kenny on 54 minutes, Jordan Davies on 69 minutes, and then Noah Edwards rubbing salt into the wounds on 76 minutes. We had a break of 10 minutes into a medical emergency in the crowd. So we're into 14 minutes. We played 8.5 minutes of the added 14. So it's been 3 games for Canarvon within the last week, Wayne. You know, and it's taking its toll now, isn't it? Haverfordwest away last weekend, Bala here on Tuesday, and then playing again on Friday night.
Yeah, it does when you're losing. I don't think it'd be a problem if it had been 4-0 up this evening. You always feel worse when you're losing football games. That's a fact. When you're winning, you could play 5 games a week. But it's just not been their night. And I'm sure Rich Davies will hold his hand up and admit that. They've probably underperformed. And again, they've come up against a team in CONNAH'S who have performed very well.
Mooney. And Rushton, this time he does. He clears the ball over the bar for a corner kick. To the CONNAH'S fans.
He's still awake anyway.
Well, he is. They're holding their breath there.
He's still awake, Rushton. Just does enough. Watch the ball. And the ball, flicked over the bar. Is a consolation goal for Canarvon. Right to the death.
Well, we're in the 100th minute here at the Oval. Is there a consolation at all? Darren Thomas with the corner kick. And just comes off, I think it was Josh Williams who was back there. It was Mike Wilde wanting to score.
A lot of good performances tonight from CONNAH'S Bryn Bad. Single out Callum Bratley. Middle of the park. Just goes about his work quietly. Wins a lot of balls, breaks up play, gets around the pitch very well, and he's a player. I admire and like to watch. But there's been a number of good performances from the CONNAH'S players.
Well, we'll hear in a minute or so who Malcolm Allen has decided to choose as his man of the match, and I wonder, Wayne, if he'll be of the same view as you. I agree with you, by the way. I think Callum Bratley has been absolutely outstanding. One of the best games I've seen him play.
Yeah,
Harrington. Kai Edwards. Disney. Now to Aaron Williams. Now then Aaron Williams will motor forward. He's got Mike Wilde in the middle. He's got Jordan Davis there. Ryan Austin was there as well. And here's Marc Williams with a hopeful ball up to Adam Davis. Lloyd just beaten to it by John Disney.
Goalkeeper trying to play out
by the keeper. Well, Malcolm Allen, Wayne Phillips doesn't agree with you.
He never has, Bryn. For the 40-odd years I've known him, he never has. I think the probably goal has swayed it for Noah. Personally, not saying he's played badly. Noah finished his goal very well. It's all about opinions, Bryn, isn't it? And I'll stick with my decision, Callum Bratley for me.
Yeah, and as I'm working with you, I'll agree with you.
Let's not tell Malcolm that. No.
Yeah, it's Noah Edwards. Malcolm Allen has decided as the man of the match. Donahue, well, his intention was clear. The production wasn't.
His start to the second half was better than his finish to the second half. Donahue, he made a good impact when he came on as a half-time substitute. Started really well for the 5 or 6 minutes, but then body language just has gone for a lot of the players now. We've all been there. I've been in games myself, 3-4-0 down. You want that final whistle, and you think, move on to the next game.
Is there a final twist in the tail? Is there an opportunity for Canarvon? As Lloyd just tries to lay the ball off. And Danny Gossett, as we enter the final minute of added time. It's been a chastening evening for Caernarfon Town, Wayne Phillips.
Yeah, it has, yes, and we've finally got to that last minute. And I'm sure there will not be any added extra on top of the 14. Because it's been an excellent night for the team.
Well,
for the away team, I should have said.
Yeah, that was the Tom Owen, isn't a masochist. As we've got less than half a minute remaining. As CONNAH'S Nomads return to the top two in the Welsh Premier League. They replace Canarvon in second in the table. As we're into the final few seconds here. Donahue. Well, we passed the 14. Referee looks at the watch, blows the final whistle, and puts Caernarfon Town out of their misery. They've had a hard football lesson here this evening. Declan Poole with the opening goal after 10 minutes. That was doubled in the second half after 54 minutes by Jack Kenny. Jordan Davies with the third on 69. And then it was Noah Edwards, Malcolm Allen's man of the match on 76 minutes, that scored the fourth goal. And Quay Nomads' wonderful record here at the Oval continues. They've not lost here in the last 12 against Canarvon. They've won the last 4 here. You have to go all the way back to April 2019 for the last time Canarvon won here at the Oval. Final score here, Canarvon 0, Quay 1 down to Dylan Ebenezer.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, felly dyna ni. Fi'n cael cwmni, rheolwr Cey Connah a Neil Gibson. A happy Quay manager, I take it, after that resounding victory.
Yeah, you know, look, I thought that that performance and results been coming, really. We played exceptionally well all through pre-season, European campaign. Got no rewards for it. Our difficult start against TNS away. We've been slowly building up our performances and results. And, you know, a lot of credit to our players and staff today, because Caernarfon on a great run. Very difficult place to come on a Friday night, but I thought we played well. Thought we were fully deserving of the victory, and the manner about how we went about it.
Yeah, it is a tough place to come, but you started superbly. You must have been just delighted from the first minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we pride ourselves on being an extremely fit team. You know, we train ever so hard, and you get your rewards for the efforts you put in. You know, we've been in probably for 12 weeks already. This week alone, we're a part-time football club, but we've been in 5 times, and the amount of effort that our players and staff put in to make sure that we're right for our games that are coming up, and they got the rewards for that in the way that they started the game.
Right, it's been a long week, it's been a long night. We'll let you go. Neil, congratulations. Thanks very much for your time.
Diolch fawr iawn.
Diolch yn fawr iawn i Neil Gibson. Yn ffarwelio, a ni yn ddyn hapus, Pedr i ddim, chi'n synnu. Bod yn ddyn hapus. John Davies di cael gol arall yno o'r smotyn. Met di colli am y tro cynta, a Ildio hefyd am y tro cynta. Dre newydd yn eich o 2 gol i 1 ac Aberystwyth. Dyn nhw'n di sgorio. Mae'n 6 gol i ddim. Yn y Seintiau newydd ddim yn sioc. Ond chi'n gol nhw lawr yn y gwylodion. Tymor hir iawn i ddod. A'r 2 nesaf, chwarae gilydd. Bai Colwyn y Hwlffordd yn cwrdd dros y penwythnos. Cey Connah'n codi'r ail safle. A Caernarfon yn bumed. Dechrau da i'r tymor. Ddim yn wych heno, mae'r rheolwr Richard Davies gyda fi. Fel o'n i'n gweud fyna, chi wedi cael dechrau gwych y tymor, ond be ddigwyddodd heno, chi'n teimlo?
Gol sromedig, dwi'n meddwl, 2 set play. Da ni wedi gadael second phase gael ni fanna wedyn. Dwi'n meddwl ni considio 2 gol fel allu, so... Wedyn, da chi'n gwybod Connah's, maen nhw'n dîm da, maen nhw'n weld rhaid gyn gibo. O rhaid ni newid siap, ni trio adaptio, trio matcho nhw i weld. Awn i mond, ti'n meddwl bod ni wedi cael dim bach o spel. Hanner gyntaf ar ôl ni newid lly. Gathen ni'n 2 chances, a wedyn, ia, mae'r trydydd am penalty wedyn. A wedyn, mae penal ogia mynd wedyn, ond... Da ni wedi bod yn gret fyny wan. Allan ni'n gadael spirits na'n mynd i lawr, a'n just gorau cael y belief nôl yn yr ogia a mynd eto os nesaf.
Ie, gai o grymu hefyd, dechreuwch i'r ail hanner yn eitha da, ond eto yn ildio ar amser anffodus felly.
Ia, dwi'n meddwl gathon ni chance, dwi'n meddwl 30 seconds gyntaf, lle mae Lwy mynd i fewn, a os dwi'n gallu cael y bel allan i draed a gael ei shot i ffwrdd, da ni sgorio, da ni'n ôl yn y gem, lle. Ond ia, yn anffodus, not to be dim complaints, dwi'n meddwl. O Connah's well tîm na ni, a dyna fo, mae'n digwydd weithio.
Yn onest iawn, diolch yn fawr iawn am dy amser di. Wedi bod yn dechrau gwych i'r tymor. Mwy i ddod gan Caernarfon. Diolch i Richard Davies am fod gyda ni. A dyna ni, diolch i chi am eich cwmni hefyd. Lot mwy o bêl-droed i ddod, cofiwch. Ni'n troi at y gemau rhyngwladol. Gêm gyfeillgar. Ebyn De Corea, mae hwnna'n os iau. A mi'n gefnid wedi 7 o'r gloch. Edrych yn flan i gael eich cwmni chi. A wedyn ni, Cymru mynd